Alright, hi Rico, gal, morning gal, afternoon gal, evening as I lose my voice because I ate before stream. Nice. I hope you guys are doing super good. Happy Monday to ya. I'm so sorry. This is the talking stream and I want to sound like this, which is absolutely awful. Oh my goodness, hello, so Dice. It's not even the hydrate. Like, thank you for the hydrate. I appreciate it. You know, I will drink some of my energy drink that's here. Oh my hecking goodness! I'm so mentally and physically exhausted, but I will politely hydrate. Yay. No, but hopefully, I'm sorry if I do sound a little strange. I apologize, but it's okay. I will do my best to just politely clear my throat every so often, which is very unfortunate. I thought I was gonna get out of my hitman job way earlier than anticipated, but I didn't. So then I had to like rush food and I'm like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. And then I wanted to pick up a coffee, but it turns out that coffees are like $6 to $7. I typically don't buy coffee anymore. When I used to work as a barista, I was like, oh yeah, I got all the coffee that I need, and then I had like a coffee machine at home, so it's like, oh whatever. But I wanted to check out this local cafe and they're like, oh yeah, this drink is $7. I'm like, what? No way! I could eat for $7. I don't know where, but somewhere else. And I can spend it on a drink I'm gonna chug to, like, you know, get a little bit of caffeine. It's fine. I forget I have some leftover energy drinks from the time I went to a convention and they just gave, you know, they just passed out Red Bulls. And so I have 2 in stock, and again, I'm not a big energy drinker, and I don't necessarily condone anyone who drinks it unless it's in excess of your normal intake that you would that they should be taking, so you should be careful of the adverse side effects, like if you're drinking 6 a day, stairs. But I just have a little backup. It's like when I'm really tired, when I have my classes on the weekends and whatnot, and I went to bed at midnight, and it's kind of like, oh Tippa, that's like baby gamer hours. I'm like, I know, but I had work and I woke up at 7. It's like, Tippa, I survive on 2 hours of sleep. I know, but I don't. So I woke up super exhausted, so this is needed. Anyway, let me say my hellos really quick. I'm gonna say my hellos backwards if that's okay with you, Cups, okay? So I can, because I see some people and I want to be like, wow! Well, hi, Warlo, hi, welcome on in, welcome. Hi, Faye, hi, congratulations on your exam, let's go, gamer! Do you believe we're taking the same classes, but like parallel? Backwards? Hello. Yeah, sure, that's how you say it. Oh my goodness. Hi Reptile, hi, welcome on in, welcome. I'm sorry that welcome sounded weird. I still mean a very heartfelt welcome, but welcome on in, welcome. Hi Rebel, hi, energy drink. Yeah, I know. One of us. Yeah, and I also meant to say earlier about the chicken dumpling thing. So you know how I tell you, cousin, I complain all the time where I make food and it's, I'm not gonna say it's yummiest, but you know, it's edible. And well, it's yummy to me, and I end up having like a big portion days later. So I'm on my 5th day of eating a chicken dumpling soup, so I'm kind of like, gosh darn it. I have to get through this. I'm almost done, but it's gonna take me 2 more days, and I don't know if the soup is gonna be good after a week, but we'll figure that out. But thank you for the hydrate and thank you for the head pats. I'm so sorry, did my head pats even go through? No. We'll figure it out later. Oh, here. Oh, thank you so much for the hat pets. What a hat. Wow, so nice of you. Pa, 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 pa. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Skibbles. And hi, Skibbles. Hi, hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. Another hat pet. Thank you, Kenny, so much. Hi, hi. Welcome on in. I saw you at the little cafes. I'm skipping the orders in my head. Well, hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kisa Chu? Hello, Kisa. I saw your lunch earlier. It looks super yummy. I'm so proud of you for like making lunch and bringing it back. Have a good time at work. Thanks for stopping by. I love you. But yeah. Yeah. Hi, Gala. Hi, hi. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the 5-day stream streak. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, Seiji as well. Hi, hi. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. And I think I said hello to every cub. Yay. Alright, cubs. So what is happening? Well, a lot of things are happening right now. Oh, hi, hi, Cloud. Hi, hi. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the hydrate, by the way. Thank you, thank you. And B, hi, hi. B, hi. Hi, welcome on in. Hope your work day is treating you well if you're at work. And if you're not at work, heck, this is awkward. Yeah, I assume. No, I'm not gonna say that. Me too. That's why I'm drinking one rare energy drink. You have lyrics? What? Sorry. Anyway, lyrics. I'm at work but also here? Oh, for the song. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Ah. Gamer. Ampa. Have to sing your heart out. Hi, Josh. Hi, hi. Welcome on in. We're studying pharmacology today. I feel like I'm so far back. Hold on. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way? Where am I? Whoops. Where am I? I feel like I'm like tilted back for some reason, so I had to fix myself. Sorry. Sorry you had to see the back of me. It's cursed. Oh my goodness. Anyway. But yeah. How do you call it? Today I have a final in 5 hours. So we have to basically cram everything that we need to do today. I don't really know how to sum up this area of pharmacology where I am. But I think the best way to say it is that we're going to be discussing about NSAIDs. So medications that are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, such as like aspirin, you know, very common things that I'm sure that you cubs, you know, use. Bronchodilators, which is the section I haven't finished yet. And what else did we learn about? I don't know. We'll take it a section at a time. I'm not really worried about this exam, but I also had not looked at it in a few days until yesterday, so I'm kind of like, Thankfully, there's not too much to cover. I think, what do you call it? What we're gonna end up doing is, hold on. Sorry. What we're gonna end up doing is that we'll get you the guide, and I'll probably wrap up a stream. Some of the Quizlets and everything, as much as I would love to do it on stream, they recently just dropped new information that I don't know is, safe to share on stream, which sounds kind of dumb. It's like, yeah, the information is safe, but it's the idea of like, oh, I need to make sure it doesn't have my school name in it or my name or anyone else's name, blah 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 blah. So you'll have to forgive me for that one, but my guide is safe, so anyway, we'll see. But I just let me catch up with chat really quick. I want to say one thing and then we'll get started. Okay. Hi, Tamakai. Hi! You didn't even have to move your hands? I know! That's one of my many talents. I could turn 360 and my hands don't have to go with me. Woo! Is the energy drink safe for 17? Yeah, it's safe for 17. Let's see. I don't really see an age. Oh. Not recommended for children, pregnant or nursing women, or persons sensitive to caffeine. Thankfully, I'm none of those. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my name is Tipanya, but see, it's Tipanya. Tip A B my middle name, and once you find my middle name, it's all over. Then I'm doxxed. So, apologies. Josh says, are bears legally able, or sorry, allowed to drink energy drinks? I don't know, we'll find out. Legally? I don't know. Sure. Who's stopping me? Who would stop me, realistically? Tip Andrew, yeah! So close, so close. Anyway, but yeah, no, really quick thing, because I saw that the Twitch recaps came out, and I expressed my thanks in 2 different ways on 2 different platforms, so I might as well add a 3rd one, the official Twitch. But if you haven't seen already, it's filled my Twitter feed. The Twitch recaps are out, ta-da! And I just wanted to again send thanks, but in voice again for any of the cubs who have me on their little list. I appreciate it. Thank you. Again, I get so kind of caught up because I'm like, all I've been doing is studying. I'm so sorry, cubs. My education and well-being really just took priority. I get nervous, but it's the idea that I'm glad that it became a more solid thing that I'm able to stream rather than like disappear off to the face of the earth. And even if I'm not on the list, I honestly appreciate any of the time that we have and any of the times I can align, because I know sometimes I'm not even the most time zone friendly. That goes for either US or EU. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, so thank you. Let's make the next year better? Bigger? Any other bead words? Bountiful. We'll see. Gal is my most used emote of this year? Thank you. I feel like Gal A is really cute, and B is in our raid emotes. That just means that you've been in a lot of our raids, so thank you for supporting the raids. I appreciate it. I was surprised because I think it was a month. I want to say had Tipanya as one of their most cheered emotes, or one of their most used emotes, and you have to understand that I don't feel like the cheer emote is that used that often unless it's like you can do it or a karaoke stream. So I'm like, what? Huh? How did this happen? But there's also a lot of other questions, because how do you say it? Elden Ring ended up being in my top 3 categories. So I had education, just chatting, and Elden Ring. We have not touched Elden Ring in months. So I'm really confused of how many hours did I put into that game. Top 10% too? See, I can't even like believe it. Not that I don't want to believe it, but it's very flattering, I guess is a really kind word. But I feel like a bunch of people played Elden Ring, so I'm really confused of like, yeah, you're this. But Twitch statistics are so weird. I don't want to get too into statistics, but I will right now. Hold on. But it's so funny to think of how big Twitch is, because how do you say it? As long as you pretty much keep at it with streaming and whatnot, you kind of end up pretty high up, thankfully, you know? 10% is a lot of people in consideration of Twitch. Heck yeah, it is. Excuse me. Like, please, I'm so sorry. I don't like sharing statistics and everything like that. It pains me. But, you can use websites like Twitch trackers to track your favorite streamers or even your own stream progress. And they'll tell you, like, their average view count, how many followers they have actively. Some clips, like, it's really, really cute, like, most stream categories. But, you know, for me, I don't feel like, I mean, I guess in consideration, I guess I stream a little bit more often now. But you know, it's normally like 3 days a week, 2 to 3 minimum, you know what I mean? And then 5 days on a good week, you know, unless I have to really cram and study something. But somehow, I guess in the 3 years that I've been streaming, being consistent and all the statistics, I end up at 0.98% of Twitch, which sounds crazy because it's just like, what? Huh? I'm within the 1%? Please don't kill me. It's like, it's a really flattering number, but then again, you have to consider the amount of people who are on Twitch, and I don't know if it counts just like accounts, like, you know, just viewers who don't stream, or like everyone who's actively streaming. It's really hard to tell, but yeah, I just want to know how they get these wacky numbers, basically. Basically all I'm saying. Anyway, anyhow, hey Tay, hi, welcome on in, welcome. Huh? Join the Serpent King? Brother, I just need to kill him. I don't want to join him. If I can't beat him, I'm still gonna beat him. I'm gonna find a way. I just need to get good. Oh my goodness. Huh? Huh? I heard that the average stream is like under 5 views. Fair. Right. Fair. That's why I'm kind of like, oh, okay. 1% of what? MS? MS. Multiple sclerosis. No, okay, I'm gonna stop messing around. But just on Twitch, that's the number stuff I was talking about. But yeah. Basically, TLDR, thank you for Twitch recap and sharing and all the other stuff, because it just warms my heart, because I feel like I haven't really been doing this much or so much this year, and I feel like I kind of didn't reach some of the goals that I wanted to. Like, I really wanted to push for another visual novel stream, and I was staring at my New Year's resolutions from earlier this year, and I'm just like, oh, I didn't get to do that. So there's always next year. Now your education streams straight up carried our stats. Yes, I love my channel point simulator farming simulator. But I'm glad there has been some very long education streams, I'm not gonna lie to you. So I guess that definitely helps out. Oh my goodness. But yeah, speaking of education, let's actually get into it, okay? Hi, Seth. Hi. I don't know what MS is. You mean this? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not actually angry. I'm just here. Anyway, hi, Seth. Hi. I am live streaming. Can confirm on twitch.tv until I start doing the multicasting. Casting. Sorry, I felt like I was saying another word. I apologize. Until I start doing that on YouTube. I guess I'm here. Let's go. Tayu says, yeah, I read it a while ago that if you're in the top 1%, your average view counts around 20. But I also wonder how many people they count. Then again, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm like, huh? Multi-casket? That's exactly what I thought I said. I'm like, no, let's not say that word. Anyway, every cub, so now that we're approaching the 30-minute mark, and I already kind of streamed 30 minutes later than anticipated because of my hitman job getting me out of work late, because even though I gave it a 2-hour like fluff time, somehow they ran over. Teehee. We'll get started with some pharmacology. But hi, friend. Hi. Welcome on in. Welcome. Alright, cubs. Let's start the countdown because we only have about 4.5 hours now. So we're going to be going over 49 pages of pharmacology notes. These are all notes that I made within the past week, and again, I can't really categorize what I'm learning. We're going to take each section at a time, and hopefully you learned something new. I think like the first part that we've been staring at for the past 15 minutes or so. I think that's very applicable to a lot of your cubs' life. So let's get into it. So one of the first sections that we talked about in pharmacology, at least for the final, is NSAIDs. You may have seen it abbreviated, but pretty much it is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. So we have 3 different drugs that we'll talk about, but we'll talk about aspirin first, and we'll talk about how we're going to compare and contrast the drugs, the method of action, and some concerns and side effects. Thankfully, the concerns and side effects for NSAIDs are not too much. A lot of it tends to just be like, ow, my tummy hurt. But we'll get into that a little bit in more detail in just a bit. But aspirin. Aspirin is a very common over-the-counter medication. I'm sure you cubs may have it in your medication cabinet or somewhere in your household. You normally take this medication again because you're feeling, well, pain, and you're just like, I have a headache. I'm just gonna take an aspirin really quick. Or, ow, I fell. I'm gonna take an aspirin. You know, very common. Very yummy. So this aspirin, we use it because it has an I should probably use my cursor. Analgesic effect, and this is just a fancy word to say pain. It's for pain relief, and it's also having anti-inflammatory effects. So imagine that you fall, and it's just like you know how some people can describe like an area like, hey, it feels warm. Normally when they say it feels warm, that area is most likely inflamed, so using aspirin can help contribute to healing that, or facilitating the process of healing to get rid of that inflammation. We can also use aspirin if you have a fever, and it's also, you may have seen people like older individuals who take like baby aspirin for anticoagulant effects, so basically to reduce their risk of blood clots. So oh, bye Cloud, bye bye, thank you for joining, I appreciate it. Karina, hi, welcome in. Not very yummy. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's true, it's not the yummiest, but makes me feel good after some time. Aspirin is yummy, it has an gosh darn it. Is my closed caption saying anos I'm not gonna say it again. Never mind. But yeah, basically a blood thinner. So the method of action is a little bit more kind of over our heads, but you just need to know that it inhibits all cyclooxygenase activity, which we'll talk a little bit about later. Down here. Talk about it later, it's fine. And also it interferes with the biosynthesis of the compounds known as prostaglandins. Can I tell you any more than what I just read? Unfortunately, no. But it's okay, it's okay. So here's some concerns and side effects. So NSAIDs like aspirin is, you know, relatively well tolerated, but of course anything in excess is always a bad thing. So what happens is that we may have some concerns of GI problems. This is due to the prostaglandin interference, but this can be like nausea, vomiting, tummy aches, etc. Other things we need to consider with aspirin is that you may have cardiovascular problems. So with your heart, it may increase your blood pressure, and again, having high blood pressure is not good. If somehow, some way, you can have a really bad adverse side effect where basically taking too much aspirin will actually do the opposite and actually lead up to a heart attack and or stroke due to the mechanism stated right here, which unfortunately I cannot explain any further than what it is here. All my knowledge for pharmacy all my knowledge for pharmacology is all very superficial, unfortunately. But number goes up, which means good. Yeah, but then it looks good, but then you don't feel good. But yeah, other medication that you take, Tylenol. Tylenol is a very popular medication brand that I'm sure you cubs are well aware of. Definitely another over-the-counter medication. And then you can probably see Tylenol as its generic name of acetaminophen. So, similar to aspirin, it's going to have that pain relief effect, and it's also going to help with fevers, but it doesn't have the anti-inflammatory effect, or it doesn't have that anti-coagulation effect either. So you kind of have to pick or choose your battles. Aspirin is a really good overall medication that we talked about. Tylenol is good, but it's only good for, again, pain relief and if you have a fever. If you feel, again, any redness or you're afraid of having a ischemic stroke for God knows whatever reason, please also go talk to your doctor. But you wouldn't be taking Tylenol, basically. You, again, would opt in for the aspirin. But Tylenol is actually going to be used to treat non-inflammatory conditions that have about a mild to moderate pain. It's also treated for OA, or osteoarthritis, and it's also treated for Reye syndrome, which it was very interesting. I didn't know what that was, but apparently this happens when you are, like, basically you get the flu, you're recovering, but then you get like a rare complication that causes confusion and swelling in the brain. It causes swelling in the brain that leads to confusion, and it also leads to liver damage. Very rare condition, but it can happen, and apparently Tylenol is just good for that. Huh. So it also has the same method of action as aspirin. It is going to inhibit the cyclooxygenase enzyme, but the reason why it doesn't have anti-inflammatories, even though it's so similar to aspirin, no one knows. That's still like a mystery. But you end up with the same side effects. You end up with GI problems and cardiovascular problems. So let's move on to our last NSAID that we'll talk about, and that's going to be cyclooxygenase inhibitors. You may also know it as the brand Celebrex? Yeah, sure. And so this is going to be classified as a COX or COX-2 inhibitor. And what happened is that, yeah, this is really cool. It's an NSAID that's going to lead to less gastric irritation, but you actually may end up with more serious adverse effects such as a heart attack or stroke. Like, it's more likely to occur. Another adverse effect that we could talk about is the increased risk of upper respiratory tract infections. Really interesting bearcat school fact, I guess, about this medication is that because of its high risk of cardiovascular problems, this medication that you see, this Celebrix, it's pretty much the only one in the market. All the other kind of inhibitors like this are off the market because of the adverse side effects. So, ooh, so spooky. But this is really important because, again, maybe people don't tolerate the aspirin or Tylenol as well, so this is just an alternate option for them. It does have a different mechanism of action, so you can see that it has the potential to inhibit synthesis of inflammatory prostaglandins produced by a COX-2 while sparing the production of basically what I'm going to explain right here. That's a tip. Turn off my pain inhibitors. Wow, I get that reference. But yeah, so what happens is that the cyclooxygenase, you have a COX, that's basically the abbreviation. You have 1 and 2. So it's normal to have 1, but 2 will appear basically when you start having inflammation and blah 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 blah. So again, the NSAIDs are anti-inflammatory. They're going to inhibit this, and so you won't have that inflammation anymore. But to be honest, as cool as that sounds and everything, we have to understand that inflammation is not necessarily great. It doesn't feel good, but it's really important that our body can indicate, hey, there's some inflammation here, because, you know, it's our body telling us that there's something wrong. So you don't want to completely remove it. Sorry, Seth. Study time? Hi, hi, welcome on in. Welcome. Did the exam go well? Oh, the exam's tonight, so please forgive me. Hi, Sleeper. Hi, welcome in as well. Welcome. Inflame Nation, rise up. Let's go. So, glucocorticoids. Okay, so glucocorticoids have multiple purposes and uses, and I had different chapters that brought it up, and it's not that confusing, but it's kind of like, when are we talking about it in what instance? So I will try my best to break it down. So glucocorticoids have different purposes, but for the purpose of RA and OA, RA being rheumatoid arthritis and OA being osteoarthritis, glucocorticoids are going to help with anti-inflammatory effects to help decrease joint inflammation. I'm not sure if you cubs are familiar with RA. I don't know how in depth I should go into that. I think maybe seeing a picture might help. Might also be kind of spooky, so I apologize. But I feel like you see it in a lot of like older females, or I feel like that's where I hear it the most, of having like a swollen and inflamed joint. Let me see. Oh my gosh, I'm getting raw, like Egyptian god of raw. No, rheumatoid arthritis. Thank you. But it can get kind of spooky, so I'm not going to show you an IRL example of it because I think that's too spooky. But if you look at an image, sorry, Cubs. I still have the picture of when I was explaining my move here. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me get the rheumatoid arthritis photo. One moment. Where the hecky did it go? Hold on. Wait a minute. Center the screen. There you go. So this is RA, but in like a later stage, and that's why the glucocorticosteroids would probably be beneficial. As you see, these joints are not normal. Very painful, as you can imagine. So again, glucocorticosteroids, it's going to help decrease that, and also produce the hormone of cortisol, which can also reduce inflammation. So older female summoning RA. No! But yeah, mechanism of injury is that it inhibits the pro-inflammatory substances. as you can see here, and it's going to increase the anti-inflammatory proteins, which is seen here. I feel a little bit bad because my professor thankfully isn't this specific. I just have the names just in case, but I highly doubt she's going to be like, okay, but what are the pro-inflammatory substances? It's like, oh gosh darn it. It's also going to help regulate the activity of macrophages, eosinophils, and T lymphocytes. Big shrug. Oh, you don't see the... I'm sorry. Oh no. Sorry, thank you. I had to click back. I apologize. Sorry. Anyway, glucocorticoids, again, they come back in another chapter. And again, it does the same thing. Anti-inflammatory, immunosuppressant, and impacts the kidneys, the CNS, your blood, your heart, and skeletal muscles. How? Anti-inflammatory! I promise we'll stop saying that word soon. I promise. But yeah, this one does a similar thing. Again, it's going to have an anti-inflammatory effect by alternating the protein synthesis, alternating the pro-inflammatory substances, and it's going to increase cell permeability and enzyme formation. So I promise I'm normally more passionate. Pharmacology is not my passion. But yeah, some concerns and side effects for glucocorticoids is that you may have bone loss or osteoporosis, which is bad. You don't want to start losing bones. But what happens is that when you take too much, it can exert like a general catabolic effect. So again, it's going to be this wasting away of like your bones, your muscles, your tissues, which is why it's kind of spooky about how do you call it? People who get injections, and that's why you have to limit it. I think I don't remember the exact number, but I think you can only get 2 to 3 injections at one time, and I don't know if that's for the year maybe, or if that's for like the condition overall, like in your whole lifespan. Like, I'm sorry, you can only get this before you get these adverse side effects of like bone loss, you know. If you have too much of this, you can get a drug-induced Cushing syndrome, which is really interesting to look at. We'll talk about it more later, but I don't think I have images of it. But Cushing syndrome is where you end up with like this moon face. Let's see. Here, I'll read this little insert really quick to also give a better idea, because this explains it way better than I can. But wait, let me get an image so you can like look at it and you can hear it. The only issue with trying to find an image of oh my goodness, of Cushing syndrome is that they normally expose breasts for it for whatever reason, and I'm like, oh brother, I cannot show that on stream. Alright, let's see. So this is Cushing syndrome, or hypercortisolism, and what happens is that this is a disorder if pretty much hyper meaning too much cortisol, and cortisol can be considered the stress hormone because this is going to help your body respond to stresses. Cortisol is also going to help maintain your blood pressure, regulate blood glucose, etc, etc. And so symptoms of Cushing syndrome, as you can see, is that you have fatty deposits around the neck and upper back, so you end up getting this hunchback. You also get something called moon face, so your face gets a little bit rounder and a little bit chunkier. You gain weight around the midsection, but you end up with fat loss from the arms and legs, so it's all in the middle basically is like where it's getting affected. I mean, don't get me wrong, your arms and legs are also getting affected, but you feel or you see most of the symptoms there. Alright. Oh no, it's educational, Booba. I know, but I won't do it. Even like the drawings are naked. That's why I'm like, gosh darn it. Anyway, you can get peptic ulcers, you could get glaucoma, and you can have mood changes as adverse side effects of glucocorticoids for either if you use it for the management of RAOA or if you use it just as a general anti-inflammatory. So what happens if we prescribe this, and what's happening with the adrenal gland? So recall that the adrenal gland, anytime we talk about that, you hear the Here, the word adrenal, we're going to be talking about our kidneys. Yay! And then here are the glands located right above our kidneys. So these glands are super duper duper important because what happens is that what it's composed of, it's going to help with the synthesis of glucocorticoids, so the thing that we just talked about, the anti-inflammatory, and it's also going to help out with mineralocorticoids, which we'll talk a little bit about later. So what happens is that this medication is typically prescribed if someone's having a hypofunction of the adrenal gland, and this is going to be used primarily for both primary and secondary adrenal insufficiency. So primary adrenal insufficiency is going to be for Addison's disease, which is basically the opposite of Cushing's disease. So let me see if I can grab a picture. Preferably one that's not naked. It's fine. Oh, I got it, kind of. Hold on. You'll take this lady, this drawing of this old lady, okay? But yeah, so what is the opposite of hyper? Hypo! So if hypercortisol was that the moon phase, the weight gain, and the weight loss on like the extremities, Addison's disease, which is your corticolism, you're gonna end up with these side effects. So somehow you end up with like this bronze pigment of the skin. You're gonna have changes of distribution of body hair. So in this example, you can see that the older lady has like a mustache. You're gonna have weakness in the extremities. You're gonna have GI disturbances, so maybe nauseous, vomiting, etc. You're gonna be hypoglycemic, so your blood sugar is gonna be very low, and as you can imagine, you're gonna be very low energy. You're going to have postural hypotension, which means that if you change positions, your blood pressure drops by a certain amount and you start feeling kind of woozy, dizzy, etc. And you're going to end up with weight loss. Destruction of adrenal complex is the name for a metal band. Start it. I believe it. The year 2024 is just around the corner. Ugh. Start a metal band. Do it! Do it! But yeah, so that's Addison's disease, or again the hypocortisolism. And so for the primary, what's going to happen is primary adrenal insufficiency is going to occur because of the insufficient production of corticosteroids, or not steroids, glucocorticoid. The secondary is going to happen because of factors outside of this. It's going to be because maybe there's not enough release of the hormone from this other place, basically. One moment, sorry. I feel like every time I do these study streams, I sound so nasally, so I apologize. Alright. Corticosteroids can be used as an injection, can also be used orally, so you can take it as like a normal medication. It can also be inhaled through the nose and mouth. Again, I think this also goes back to the injections where you could only have it about 2 to 3 times. I will look up other resource to see if it's only within the year or in the lifetime. Alright, let's talk about DMARDs, disease-modified anti-rheumatic drugs. So, excuse me. These are going to be medications that are going to be used to halt the process of RA, and they're normally used early in the treatment. Which, because again, as you recall that image that we just saw, late-stage RA is not pretty. So we can use a brand called Humira, and that's going to be a type of DMARD, and again that's going to halt the process or slow down the progression of RA. And how it's going to do that, it's going to inhibit the functions of monocytes, T and B cells, and it's also going to affect very specific inflammatory medications. Maybe I meant to write mediators. But anyway, it's gonna affect cytokines from causing that destruction of destroying the joints, causing the inflammation, blah 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 blah. There's not really a lot of concerns or side effects with these medications, thankfully, in comparison to traditional DNARDs. But pretty much what happens is that your risk of infection may go up if it's used with other immunosuppressants, which makes sense. Thank you for the inhalation. I'm dying. I'm dying. Thank you for the hydrate as well. Thank you, thank you, and thank you for the posture check. Hold on, let me... Right. I don't think I'm gonna drink any more of my energy drink. I think I'll save that for tomorrow. I just need to find where I put my water. Hold on. One moment. Alright. Guys, thank you. My professor wanted us to look at common, traditional, non-biological, and biological ones. Unfortunately, these are all memory. I am not going to sit here and read these to you. And not because I don't respect you cubs. I just think, reading these names out loud would be very embarrassing, so I will just refrain from that, and I will look at it when we have some time, because we are already getting some really good progress. So ahaha, teehee. Hold on one moment. Okay. Huh? Gotta take care of the streamer? They're like Tamagotchis? Yeah, basically, especially all the self-care games. I understand. Alright, so there's actually some really interesting supplements called glucose. I'll just say it with confidence, even if it's very wrong. Glucosamine and also chlorhydrin sulfate. So this is actually a dietary supplement, as I said, which is actually a type of DMOAD. Where's the OAD coming from? I guess maybe this is more specific to osteoarthritis, but it is another type of disease modification or modifying drug. And what happens is that this is going to serve as a precursor to normal of joint tissue. So basically, it's going to help protect articular cartilage, and it's actually going to halt or reverse some of the joint degeneration in OA. So what happens is that both of these compounds that they have as dietary supplements can actually be found as key ingredients in our body for the production of articular cartilage and synovial fluid. So basically think of it as the cushion of your joint, like your knee especially. You have your jelly-filled donut in there, and then like the oil to make sure it doesn't squeak. Not exactly in that way, but that's probably like the best visualization I can provide, you know what I mean? So taking these supplements, blah 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 blah, those are the oral dosages that you can have as a daily intake. And again, the method of action is that it's going to stabilize the cartilage turnover, because again, OA is that kind of wasting away. And it's also going to suppress the production of cytokines that are going to contribute to the pain and the destructive changes of the impact that OA is going to have. Let's talk about some sickness. Yay! Actually, this was super relevant because when I had got sick the other day, I felt like I just had so much mucus and I couldn't talk, and I was so sad. It was the week coming back from Vienna, and I didn't get sick until I was leaving at the airport. So sad. But it's fine, it's okay. So I just felt so mucusy, and then people were telling me, oh, get Mucinex, get Mucinex. It turns out Mucinex, yes, as you can kind of tell by the name and the context clues, it is going to help me out, especially with expelling some of the mucus, but it has a specific ingredient, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it starts with a G. Guasafen, guasa something, and it was just really interesting because I think that G word is a mucolytic, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I feel like it's like a spoiler to what we're saying, but I was I was just like in awe because I'm like, I just learned about this. Let's go. Anyway, so you know, I never learned how to say this word, so I apologize. Antusives versus decongestants versus expirants versus antihistamines. We're gonna learn about the use, the method of action, and the pros and cons of why you would maybe take one over the other, you know? Hi y'all, hi, welcome on in. Hi, good morning to you. Good morning. Hi, welcome on in. Krano says, can doctors prescribe medications to themselves? I don't know. I don't think so. I want to politely say no because I'm just like, oh, what if like a doctor abuses it? You know what I mean? But who knows? I'm not a doctor. Oh no, typos. But hi Tazzle, hi, welcome on in, welcome. Tazzle, did you know you're in my Twitch recap? I also hope you're surviving this no computer life. You are! Here, I'll pull up the image really quick. Oh gosh, it's so big. Put the screen. Yeah, look! Ta-da! That's you! Ta-da! And then Big Cam. I don't know, Big Cam just streams at a really convenient late night time for me that I always feel like I catch Big Cam. I was so surprised. But yeah. Welcome on in, gamer. And we're learning or I'm politely reading my notes so I can have some form of how do you call it? Review, I guess. At least I looked at it once sort of situation. For my final exam that I have tonight at 7 p.m. EST, so that means in about 4 hours from now, I have an exam on pharmacology, so we're just going over some stuff. I should probably put in my... should probably put that in the title. Hold on. Topic, Pharmacology. There you go. I updated the title. I normally put it in there, so I really am sorry that I didn't update it. How long is the exam? Can be anywhere from 70 to 90 minutes. Pharmacy? Yeah, basically. Drugs. Medications. Yeah. But I'm not sure for this particular exam. Thankfully, there's only one time I've ever used almost all my time up on an exam. No, I mean, let's not say that. I've used it for multiple, but I'm not gonna lie to you. There was one professor who was like, 20 questions, 60 minutes. I'm like, pfft, no issue. I had all the issues because I was so paranoid. It was only so many questions, and you don't want to get a lot wrong because, like, what? If you get like 5 wrong, you're already at what, a B, a C? I don't know. Yeah, oh. But yeah, we'll see. I will be back tomorrow doing the same thing with neuromuscular, but having a little bit more passion for it. A little bit more like, okay, Cubs, let's talk about this because I feel like it's a little bit more practical, at least for my career. But I have 3 exams in totals. But thank you so much, Cubs, for the good luck. I appreciate it. I will do my best. Again, not worried about this one. That's why I'm keeping it nice, calm, and chill. I am scared poopless for tomorrow's exam, so yay. Because again, as I tell you, Cubs, I've been waiting for this. Tanu, hi! Oh my goodness! Hi! Long time no see. How are you enjoying your Dingle Rompers game? Oh my goodness. Hi Raiders, hi, welcome on in. My name is Tipanya and it's nice to meet ya. Welcome. I'm a bearcat VTuber. I do the gal and yan. It's very nice to meet you. We're doing some studying today because I have a final to cram. I have a final in 4 hours. Please send me your luck. You don't need that luck today. I need the luck. Please hand it over. But I hope you had a super duper duper good stream. Welcome on in. So yeah, with the exam, I'm politely regurgitating my notes, and our topic today is pharmacology. So if you like that, great. If you don't like that, I'm sorry. Please catch me sometime not this week because I have finals this week, so I apologize. I apologize. I'll be a gamer later. But speaking of gamer, I'm gonna catch up with chat really quick. But if you have to, go, please don't let me hold you back. I will be here talking your ear off if you have to go. So I apologize. But I don't know how long you were streaming. But definitely stand up and stretch. Definitely hydrate, and definitely eat something super duper 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 yummy. Thank you so much again for the raid. Tear Sheet, by the way, thank you so very much for the follow. Welcome to the Cup Club. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shredder Wolf, hi hi, welcome. Drag, hi hi, welcome. Tear, hi hi, welcome. Dev, hi hi, welcome. Thank you so much for the self-care checks, by the way. I appreciate it. I'll get to it once I'm done. I pinky bear promise, yeah. Hi Moon Wolf, hi hi. Tanu, of course, hi hi, welcome. Thank you for the head pats. Haran, hi hi, welcome. You feel... I feel more intelligent after 2 seconds of being here. Let's go. I'm doing my job, kind of. Hi, Ozzy. Hi, hi. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. Don't mind us just calling on by. Such a cute raid message, by the way. You're enjoying it so much. It looks so good. I want to know more about the pink hair girl, the Shimigami. Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't said that word in like 15 years. I just have like a weakness for like cute pink hair girls. But thank you for the good lucks. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, and thank you for the brainwaves. I need it. Wow, 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 wow. Hi, pal, by the way. Hi, hi, and hi, thank you. You don't need luck. You got it. You guys have too much faith in me. But I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, but I appreciate it. If you like murder games, you'll enjoy it. I haven't played a murder game in so long. I'm really bad when it comes to like detective work and whatnot. And I know I should... I really think my last murder game was Murder 4 in VR chat. No, I'm just kidding. I think my last murder game was really Dingle Rompers or Danganronpa 1, 2 until I got hit with the paywall because I was reading Danganronpa before it got localized. Not to be like hipster about it, I just don't know anything past 2. So now that they came up with this game, which is not related but it's by like the same creator, I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel right to jump into it until I finish 2 and 3. But yeah. But she is so gorgeous. I love pretty girls. I want to be them. Huh? Not to be confused with the games that you do murder. Hey. Every game I'm murdering because I'm always killing it. Yo, dies a cringe. But thank you, Tessa. Thank you. Huh, babe? Time to pray to the big brain then? Please, big brain, please! I need this! I need to do well on my finals so I can stay with my cohort and I don't get left behind and get into some weird depressive episode thinking I'm never good enough and then I'm gonna have to make new friends and I'm really bad at making new friends! Thank you for the inhalation of air, Redeem. I appreciate it. Also, thank you for the self-care checks, by the way, from earlier. Thank you, Shattered. My posture's good. But hydrating? Ooh, let me grab my water bottle from the floor. And open up my water bottle. Water bottle! ASMR. Well, thank you for the hydrate. Thank you. And thank you for the inhalations of air. If my cups didn't redeem that, I would probably die. Bottle? Go! Water bottle! Oh my goodness, so cute! Water bottle. But thank you, Shadow. Thank you so very much for the follows. Welcome to the Cup Club. Welcome. But yeah, gamers. Oh, and Wakey. I hope I said that right. I feel like there was no... I didn't pronounce any of the letters. And the second one. Thank you so very much for the follow. Welcome to the Cup Club as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tanu says, I think it's easier than Danganronpa, or at least it's less frustrating. Oh, thank goodness. I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't actively played a Danganronpa's game. I just was reading it. So I'm like, oh, it's fine. The frustration is to the player that I'm politely watching. Teehee. But I can understand because there were some really out there things I remember, which... Anyway. Al says, what drugs increase dopamine? Ask your doctor, I apologize. But thank you for the headpats, by the way. I'm so sorry because my headpats went to war. I don't know where the heck they are. I don't even know where my hand is right now. I found my hand. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Thank you for the headpats. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Friends. That's so good. I love that. I love that in this household. Alright. Well, yeah, let's get back into it. So I again am studying for my final that's happening in about 4 hours. I'm not a doctor by any means. I'm not practicing to be a doctor. This is just like a very general course that they've given me. So I basically have to review an assortment of drugs because it can affect people in different ways and blah 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 blah. Right now we're in a section where you can say it is medications you would have over the counter if you wanted to treat like a fever or a cold or anything like that. So yeah, antitussives, yeah. So those are going to be medications that are going to suppress your coughing. And how does it do that? It actually inhibits your cough reflex. These kind of medications, however, oh, where's my cursor? Hold on. They're not appropriate for anyone younger than the age of 6. I don't really remember why. I want to say maybe just because they're baby, and if they're not able to cough, it might affect them. Maybe deaf, like probably somewhere along those lines. Unfortunately, I don't really remember the reasoning. It's just not appropriate for kids that young. Cons as well: sedation, you might feel pretty sleepy, that's one of the side effects. Dizziness and GI issues, and again when we talk about GI issues, can be nausea, can be vomiting, could be choking, yeah. You can't cough it out, guys. I will definitely double check that. I have another study guide that I'm gonna politely skim through in just a little bit when we're done doing our review to make sure I like fill any of the gaps. But pal, thank you so much. Thank you for looking. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the hearts and headpats too. Thank you, thank you. But yeah. Sorry again. I feel a bit nasally. I feel so mucusy, so I apologize. But yeah, let's talk about decongestion. Something I probably need right now. So, decongestion, as it says, it's gonna treat symptoms with congestions. And you know, those that are having mucus? Ooh. Anyway, you're just gonna have mucus discharge. So this is for people especially who have like a runny nose, a stuffy head, a stuffy nose, etc, etc. Now the technicalities of it is that it's going to, oh gosh I will read it all and then I will just repeat the highlighted, okay? Decongestion's mechanism of action is going to be that they have the alpha-1 adrenergic agonist bind to the alpha-1 receptors located on the blood vessels in the nasal mucosa. And what's going to happen is that's going to stimulate vasoconstriction. So we're going to not dilate, which is the opposite of that. We're going to constrict, we're going to limit, we're going to close off. And once we close off, we're going to effectively dry up the vasculature, which is going to end up decreasing the local congestions in the nasal passages. So basically, TLDR, we dried up your nose. No congestion to be had because we dried it up, we got rid of it from the source. Bam. No more mucus discharge, so yay. So for the side effects, you have headaches, nausea, sorry, and cardiovascular irregularities such as increased blood pressures and palpitations. You're also... Oh no, that's it. You don't even have GI distress. I mean, you do if you count nausea, but it's fine. Anyway, going back to my story that we were just talking about with the Mucinex. So Mucinex, to my understanding, I hope, is a mucolytic, and so let's talk about that really quick. So these two are kind of in its own category, but let's separate them. So we have a medication called expectorants, which is going to facilitate the production and ejection of mucus, and it's going to help produce thinner mucus. This kind of medication is going to prevent the accumulation of viscous secretions that can clog respiratory passages and lead to pulmonary problems. While the mucolytic, that's going to actually decrease the viscosity. And if you're unfamiliar with the word viscosity, shame on you, unless English is not your first language. Shame on you, because this is like a word you learn in like biology or chemistry, like in high school. Well, maybe not even high school, middle school. But viscosity, think of honey. Like, you know, when you pour out honey and how slow it goes, it has what they, I guess, consider like a high viscosity. So this is going to decrease the viscosity. It's going to make it thinner. Think almost like water. Maybe not like that, but it's going to pour out easier. And it's going to help loosen the mucus. And that's what Mucinex does, because mucolytic drug is coizophene. It starts with a G. If you look at the Mucinex box, you see the ingredients, you're gonna see this G word in there, and that's gonna be a mucolytic, and that's why it helps you with loosening up some of the mucus that you have in your system. So what is the mechanism of injury, by the way? So what's going to happen is that it's going to increase the production of respiratory secretions, thus encouraging the ejection of phlegm and sputum, which is basically just kind of like the bad stuff within you, all the mucus and the congestion that you have. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I've never heard of it. I should not be making native English speaker my excuse. No. Don't worry. It's a very specific word. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be like, oh wow, this. Like, when are you gonna really use it in a like daily life thing? You know what I mean? Oh wow, this honey is so viscous. I love that for my tea. Batiofas? Hi! Thank you so very much for the follow. Welcome to the Coke Club. Welcome. No, don't worry about it. It's okay. Alright, and so what are some of the adverse side effects to these medications? GI distress. When in doubt, GI distress. Which again includes your nausea and your vomiting, so bleh. Hi Theo. I did not know education was a category, but this category is relevant to me. Especially given that I was just taking these medications. Let's go! And that's what I was saying. Alright, I'm gonna repeat my story again. I got sick basically last week or the week before. I don't know. I don't remember. Time is passing me and I'm never gonna get it back. Anyway, no, but I was taking Mucinex, which is a mucolytic, so I was just like, whoa! Pinky! Wah! Pinky! How are you? How's life? How's the job that you had 2 years ago? Are you enjoying it? How are you? Sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm so shook. Oh my. I hope you're doing super well. Oh my goodness. That's all I got, because I could be like, oh my goodness. I mean, you can catch up later too. You've graduated? You graduated? Well, belated congratulations. Good luck with the job searching. I believe in your abilities to get to the career that you've been working this hard for. Oh my hecking goodness. Well, welcome on in. I haven't graduated. I'm studying for the next 2 years again, and I have a final today. So please excuse me. That's always good seeing you. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait. Sorry. Theo says, oh, I'm sorry you're sick. I'm glad that you're better. Oh no, I'm just getting over COVID-19. Oh, I'm so sorry. I really hope that you're doing better. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, I hope these medications definitely do what they have to do, and I hope that you don't get the adverse side effects. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. I'll need all the luck I can get. I have to take it. I'm telling you, Cubs, you don't need the luck right now. I need the luck. Well, no, actually, Piki could take the luck because Piki is job hunting right now. But no. You're not job hunting right this moment, right? Please let me just borrow it for like 5-6 hours, please. Go. Thank you so very much for your continued support, Vicky. Thank you so very much for the Thank you so very much for the tier 1 sub for 16 Hecky months. Thank you. Heck. big heck. All the best for your finals. Thank you, Faye. Appreciate it. Thank you. And you're almost better. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, getting sick kind of stinky. But it's okay. We'll get through it. Unless we don't, then that's a conversation for another time. Anyway, antihistamines. So that's gonna be another medication that we can use. So this is actually really interesting. So what happens with antihistamines is that it's gonna help reduce vomiting and decrease any of the coughing or sneezing that you may be having. But it also provides the sedative hypnotic effects. So one of the major adverse side effects that you're gonna have is, well, sedation. You're gonna feel tired and sleepy and bleh. You're also gonna have fatigue, dizziness, blurred vision, incoordination, crazy, and also GI distress. Again, when in doubt, GI distress it out. So you're gonna end up with nausea and vomiting as well as a side effect of antihistamines. So how does this work, and what is this first gen, second gen business? So how antihistamines are gonna work is that it's gonna block the H1 subtype of the histamine receptors. By blocking this of the effects of histamine on the upper respiratory tissues, this is going to help decrease some of the nasal congestion that you're having, mucosal irritation and discharge. So you might end up with rhinitis, which is just like a runny nose. It's you know, it's fine. And synovitis, and then you also, it can help decrease a conjunctivitis. Oh my gosh, I can't say these words, I'm so sorry, that are caused by inhaled allergens. So you might see the word histamine or antihistamines when someone might be allergic to something. And I feel like you see that a lot in common with people who have like allergies to like pollen and whatnot. Teehee, not allergic, so wouldn't know. No, I'm just kidding. But as medication and technology and all that jazz improves, antihistamines actually has a first generation and second generation medication. So the first generation antihistamines, for whatever reason, were readily able to cross the BBB. BBB is an abbreviation for the blood-brain barrier. So what happens is that because it's able to cross this, it's gonna mess with your psyche a little bit. So it's gonna mess up with your central nervous system. So remember, the central nervous system is your brain and spinal cord, and that's why you're gonna have the effects such as sedation and psychomotor slowing. So again, you're gonna have that general slowness and confusion and sleepiness and blah. Permanap, basically. You want to go to sleep? I got you. but the BBB. The second generation, they thankfully fixed it. And definitely will not make you as tired anymore, and you won't have that psychomotor slowing. It could cross it, but it does not easily cross it. It has to put up a fight, basically. Nap time? Big nap time. Big nappy hours. Nappy hours? I'm sorry, I've never said that word in my life, and I feel gross for saying it. Me when I'm on 4 Benadryls, please consider something else. Unfortunately, I guess I never made up the notes for the bronchodilators. That's something I'll look at later, off stream, when I fill in this information, because as much as I would love to turn the stream into a study with me stream where I pull up my textbooks and I control F it and we get the information in there, there's no time! What am I gonna have? 4 to 5 questions that's gonna ruin my entire grade because I didn't fill this out? Pfft. No, I'm just kidding. It's gonna be fine. I will get to this. This is why it's highlighted in this awful bright red color. Oh, so let's talk about H2 blockers and protein pump inhibitors. So what's going to happen is that these are in relationship to, well, your GI system or your gastrointestinal system. So the H2 blockers are going to help with acute and also long-term management of dyspepsia and also GERD. You might have heard of GERD. GERD is the gastroesophageal reflux disease. So, gosh darn it, my body is failing me right now. Hold on. Alright, my body has returned to me. Anyway, so for the method of action for this to help treat with the long-term management, I don't remember what dyspepsia is. So let us politely look it up. Now everyone's heard of GERD. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, dyspepsia is just indigestion. You know, when your tummy is really upset, really mad at you. The H2 blockers can help out with that. So I have a little note to myself. Thank you, past self. So recall that histamines stimulate specific receptors on the stomach's parietal cells to increase gastric acid secretion. So what's going to happen is that the H2 blockers, these drugs are going to prevent the histamine activated release of gastric acid. And under basal conditions and during stimulation of food. So because they're going to prevent the release of this, they're going to prevent the secretion of acid, and they're also going to help decrease damage from the gastric acid caused by NSAIDs and other factors. Recall the NSAIDs that we talked about was Tylenol, aka acetaminophen, and we also have aspirin. I'm like, So H2 blockers, really cool, because guess what? It's also a really well-tolerated medication, so you won't really see that many side effects, so yay! But what's going to happen is that you may end up with side effects such as dizziness, headaches, mild and transient GI distress, nausea, diarrhea, constipation. You're also going to have whatever the heck these words are. What? Why did I not put side notes? I definitely don't know these words. Arthralgia. Oh, interesting. So arthralgia, it's gonna be pain in the joint. Why? Well, myalgia. Yeah, like fibromyalgia. That's gonna be pain in the muscle or in the group of muscles. So just be careful with that. Tummy, no! Oh no, I'm so sorry, Taya. It's okay. I believe in your dreams. Maybe I know what you want to do with the talking. Maybe I don't support your dreams. But anyway, another kind of medication that we can talk about when we're talking about GERD and etc. is the PPI, protein pump inhibitors. So this is going to be effective in inhibiting the protein pump, which we'll talk about in the mechanism of injury. This is also going to help reduce the gastric acid secretion. And it's also going to be a long-term treatment with gastric and duodenal ulcers. So duodenal, I hope I'm saying that right, it's within your intestines, by the way. So any of the ulcers that you get, like the bumps and blah. It's also going to help with GERDs. Yay! So what is the mechanism of injury for the PPI? So that's going to inhibit the hydrogen and potassium ATPase enzyme that is ultimately responsible for secreting acid from gastric parietal cells into the lumen of the stomach. So basically, hey, these things that are creating acid, say no more. Stop. Kind of already in the name with inhibitor. Inhibitor normally means to stop something or to inhibit or to block it or to etc. So I mean, not too hard. It sounds complicated, but I promise it's not. But yeah, okay, this enzyme is also known as the protein pump, hence these drugs are often referred to as the protein pump inhibitor. So, da-da! Bringing it all together. Hi, FCW. Hi! Welcome on in. Welcome. Hello. PPIs are also well tolerated. Yay. But the issue is just if you kind of stop it, you have like this rebound effect. And it gets kind of ugly, unfortunately. So you may have problems such as you may be more predisposed to GI tumors. Excuse me. You may be increasing your risk of certain infections. You do have the opportunity to decrease absorption of certain vitamins. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when I eat before stream. Dies. Anyway, such as vitamin B, magnesium, and iron, you won't be able to absorb that as well. You know how important those are. And also, you may end up with kidney problems, so be careful. So, Kitty, hi, welcome on in, welcome. Thank you so much for the hydrate. Give me one moment. Bam. All right. I keep looking over there like my water's over there. Hold on. Here lies Tippa. She ate. I did eat. Squats, poses. I ate it all up. Alright, let me hydrate really quick. I need to politely stop. Alright, I'm putting my water not on the floor. Politely at my table. And thank you for the inhalation of air. I promise I was inhaling. Okay. So, cause we are not halfway to the guide yet, but let's talk about antacid. I don't feel like I'm saying that right. I mean, there's no other way to say it, right? Antacid. Anyway, so this is also going to be medication that you use for upset tummies, basically. So what's going to happen is that these medications are used to neutralize the stomach acid. So we're talking about like pH levels here. So this kind of medication is normally going to be containing a base, which could be carbonate or hydroxide, and that's going to be combined with either aluminum, magnesium, sodium, or calcium. And so this base is going to combine with the excessive hydrogen ions to increase that pH. And remember, the pH scale, the lower it is on the pH scale, the more acidic it is, while the higher it is on the pH scale, the more basic it is. So we're going to try to neutralize it and get it to neutral. Hi Astro, hi, welcome on in, welcome. Alright, so some adverse side effects is constipation, which is very common with aluminum. You may also have diarrhea, which is common with magnesium, and also a oh, this might be TMI. Sorry, I saw the word magnesium. I read it again. The thought just hit me. Rip was so funny because we were talking about, I guess, like tummy troubles basically, and she's like, yeah, every time I travel I have tummy troubles, so if you need magnesium, I got you. And I'm like, no, it's okay, thank you. Thank you. So I'll never forget the association with that, but I thought it was really interesting. But anyway, yes, that's common. Diarrhea is common with the magnesium combination. And then you may also have electrolyte balance, especially in high dose, because we'll talk about this a little bit more later. So I have more TMI stuff, thankfully not on my behalf. But if you have diarrhea, you end up getting, you know, dehydrated, and then there's this imbalance, hence the electrolyte imbalance. So that's why it's also really important, and we'll talk about later why you can't really rely on like laxatives. And actually I think there's a whole section dedicated to that, so we'll politely wait off on that. Ooh. Hi Wave, hi, welcome on in, welcome, yeah, hello, welcome. Alright, so what is the impact of taking certain meds and the interactions that we should be careful of? So antacids, what happens is that it can affect the metabolism, which can be really bad, and it can also affect the solubility of medications that rely on the gastric acidity. So what happens is that certain medications may not dissolve correctly because you're messing with the pH balance too much. Again, because it can affect metabolism and how the medications will dissolve, the medication you might be taking may not be as effective, which is something to be careful about. But it shouldn't stop you from taking either medication. You just kind of have to time it out correctly. So according to guidelines, what happens is that this medication should be taken within 2 hours of other orally administered drugs, such as warfarin, which I believe is a blood thinner. Please don't check me on that. Digoxin? Oh my gosh. Iron supplements and certain antibiotics basically should be taken within that 2-hour window. Any more, again, it might affect, again, the metabolism or the solubility of the medication too much, again, rendering it less effective. If you do have excessive use of this medication, though, this is going to be very bad because it's going to alter your absorption of electrolytes, and it's going to increase your urinary pH, and that's going to affect, again, the drug elimination process. I don't recall if I talked about this in the other pharmacology exam review, but that was a while back. But pretty much they talk about like the life cycle of medications and how important it is to have proper drug elimination, because if you don't have that, as you can imagine, it would accumulate in the body, and then you end up with toxicity, and then you end up suffering from the side effects from that. Blah. Let's talk about mineral corticoids. So let's talk about that, because I was really surprised to see a spironolactone, which is actually a medication I took maybe a year or two ago, and I was just like, oh, it's here? What? Anyway, it was really funny. I say that and I'm getting thrown back because when we were doing the exam review, my professor was I don't know what happened to my professor, but every like medication we talked about, she's like, yeah, I was on this. Yeah, I was on this. Yeah, I was also on this too. Yeah, I had an episode of, and I'm like, what? Are you okay? That's okay. Thankfully, everything is not like super serious, you know? Anyway. Some mineralocorticoids. So this is going to be steroid hormones, also known as aldosterone, and that's going to help regulate fluids and electrolyte balance. And how it's going to do that is that it's going to tell the kidney, hey, I want increased sodium and water reabsorption and potassium excretion. How does it do it? Easy. Well, maybe not really easy, but it's gonna bind to a receptor on the kidney with high affinity, holy heck, for this kind of hormone. So easy peasy lemon squeezy sort of thing. It's gonna help regulate, again, fluids and electrolyte balance by basically finding the thing that it likes. Or the thing that likes it back, I suppose is the better way to say it. Some adverse side effects of this, however, is hypertension, because what happens is that if we're increasing the sodium and the water reabsorption, you know how they're like, hey, don't have a high salt diet, you're going to increase your blood pressure. That's basically what happens here because, again, of the sodium retention. You may have peripheral edema, so your limbs may swell up, your hands, your arms, your legs, your feet. You may have weight gain, and then you may have hypokalemia, which means low calcium levels. Or potassium, because of the potassium excretion. I'm so sorry. Kalemia, to me, looks so much like calcium, but it's not. Anyway, spironolactone is another medication that we'll talk about. So this is a mineralocorticoid antagonist. So this is going to decrease the detrimental effects of the aldosterone. okay. On the kidneys, the heart, the vasculature, and other tissues. So why is this important? Oh, it's important because it may prevent some abnormal systemic changes associated with metabolic syndrome. And we just need to figure out how this medication can actually help with cardiovascular dysfunction, because it turns out it could help, but there's not enough studies to go prove it or start diagnosing people, or prescribing people with this medication. So how is this medication going to do the thing it does? So it's going to help by blocking aldosterone receptors in the cardiac and vascular cells. These drugs prevent adverse cellular changes such as fibrosis or hypertrophy, that wasting away, that can contribute to hypertension, high blood pressure, heart failure, and other cardiovascular diseases. So what are some of the side effects? It's kind of chunky. So you can actually end up with an increased level of potassium levels, so hyperkalemia, because again, this is an antagonist. So whatever we just mentioned earlier about the mineral corticoids, saying like, oh yeah, sodium in water reabsorption, potassium excretion. Well, spironolactone is actually going to be doing the opposite of it, because it's an antagonist. It's going to be going against it. So as you see, this says hypokalemia for the mineral corticoids, but for the spironolactates, again being the opposite, hyperkalemia. The issue with high potassium levels or anything in excess, but in this case hyperkalemia, it might end up being life-threatening if it's too high for too long, and then you die. Other things is that spironolactone can interfere with the androgynous sex hormone. So basically there's a variety of different things that it can affect, such as increasing your body hair, deepening your voice, decreasing libido, menstrual irregularities, and breast enlargement in men. This medication, as always, GI distress. So you may end up with diarrhea, stomach pain, and gastric ulcers. And actually, this medication is kind of quirky because it can actually end up impacting your CNS. And so you may end up with CNS effects such as drowsiness, being lethargic, confusion, and having headaches. Let's talk about your thyroid. We actually briefly talked about it when we were talking about the Addison's and the Cushing syndrome. So we're going to be talking about that again, but probably with no pictures. I'm sorry. So your thyroid. Everyone knows there what their thyroid looks like. I say no pictures, but I'm like, let's pull up a picture of your thyroid. You would never think about it though. I just want a nice picture of the thyroid. This works. Alright, one moment, Cubs. Holy heck, you're so big. Okay, hold on. Center to screw. Oh gosh, darn it, get me out of here. Get me out of here. I just want to show you this. Your thyroid! Yay! Yes, yours specifically. Yay! So you would never believe it, but this thyroid is super duper duper important. It makes two hormones that we'll talk about a little bit later, but it's how do you call it? It apparently impacts the way that you use your fats and your carbohydrates in your body. So as you imagine, hyper and hypothyroidism can be kind of bad. Alright, so your thyroid. Let's talk about hypo. What we can talk about? Yeah, let's talk about hypo first. So hypo again means below. So what happens is that if you have hypothyroidism, you're not making enough of that thyroid hormone. You're having an underactive thyroid, and with signs and symptoms that can be present is that you may be slow celebration. What the heck did I write? Excuse me. Maybe I meant coordination. I hope that's what I meant. but you're lethargic. You have hopefully, well, not hopefully, you got it. But slow coordination. There could be weight gain in adults, a constipation, cold intolerance, and muscle weakness. So in this case, it's kind of like a lot of things to think about, but I think you have to be really creative in your imagination of like, okay, hypothyroidism. Okay, very slow, very steady. All right, I'm living a more sedentary, slower active or slower lifestyle. I'm gonna have that weight gain. Constipation, it's just not coming out. A cold intolerance, you're not moving fast enough, so you're cold. And muscle weakness, because again, you're not moving, so you're wasting away. Yeah, that's how I'm memorizing these signs and symptoms. I hope that's okay. Slow celebration. But yeah, so how do we fix this? How do we do this? If you have hypothyroidism, well, just get more forehead. It's so easy. No, I'm just kidding. It's not easy, but it's definitely a very simple solution comparison to hyperthyroidism, where basically you just get a replacement of some of the hormones that you may be missing. And so there can be like a natural or synthetic way of doing it. And just know that you will be using your T3 and T4 hormones. T4 being levothyroxine and T3 being leothyronine. maybe. So, I'm just gonna read this because I actually don't remember what I wrote. Studies suggest that combining both hormones does not provide additional benefits in certain physiological responses, such as body weight and lipid metabolism. Primary problem associated with this replacement is that you may have an overdosage, which actually goes back into you getting hyperthyroidism. So basically, like, oh, you have too little? Okay, let's do it. Oh, you kind of overdosed yourself? Oh, heck. Okay, now you have hyperthyroidism. Thyroidism now. Sorry. But yeah, but it's very easy to fix. If you just decrease or change the medication, it easily resolved itself. So bam, that's hypothyroidism. So let's talk about hyperthyroidism. So this is when makes too much. Sorry, I have so many typos here. Whoever was using the study guide, I apologize. I didn't have the opportunity to go back. Oh man, sorry. But yeah, so hyper, as you imagine, will be the opposite. So now all our signs and symptoms are going to be nervousness, weight loss, diarrhea, heat intolerance, and muscle weakness. And then I don't need to use those very vivid examples, but yeah, you gotta go fast. So shaky, so nervous, so fast. And that's what I associate with it in the hyper portion, the hyperthyroidism. So how do we fix it, Chief? Oh boy, I have several options for you. Yay. So if you have too much of it, get rid of it for it. So what we're gonna do is have anti-thyroid agents. So that's what's gonna happen is that's gonna inhibit the hormone synthesis. That's gonna help control the it's gonna help control the excessive hormone production, and this is often prior to surgical removal or destruction, by the way. The main mechanism of action is that it's gonna inhibit the enzyme peroxidase. And really the common adverse side effect of this is very minor. You have very mild and transient meaning short term, skin rash and itching. Ooh, nothing too serious, thankfully. Alright, what about iodine? So fun fact, I guess, Cubs, iodine is pretty important to your diet. That's why they at least in America, maybe other places as well, that's why you see in your salt that it has iodine in it, so you get at least a little bit in your diet, because I'm sure we add salt to pretty much everything we eat. So yay, we have it. Yay, we'll never be short of it unless we're trying to have like a salt-free diet. Yay. But anyway, iodine, in very large doses, it can have a rapid dramatic decrease in thyroid function. High levels limit the uptake of iodine into the follicle, inhibiting the T4 and T3, which we talked about earlier in the hypothyroidism, and it's gonna decrease the secretion of hormones from the thyroid cell. Hey, but that's if you like go overboard with it. If you have sufficient doses, however, it's going to virtually inhibit all steps in the thyroid hormone biosynthesis. So, hey, we're just going to basically stop it in its tracks, and basically the effect of the drug will diminish after 2 weeks, because again, too much of something is a bad thing. Whether it's too much, too little, stopping it completely probably is not the best way to go about it, but it is the best way to go about it if you have too much. We just got to put a hardcore stop to it, but again, it's not like a permanent solution. We can have radioactive iodine. This is really interesting because this is actually going to selectively destroy thyroid tissue in certain forms, such as Graves' disease, which Graves' disease is escaping me right now, so let's politely figure out what that is. Oh yeah! Okay, Graves' disease is, I don't know if I should show you cups because it's kind of spooky, but it's when people's eyes bulge out. Graves' disease is an immune system disorder of the butterfly-shaped gland in the throat, aka the thyroid. The thyroid overproduces hormones. This condition is more common in women under the age of 40. You're gonna have puffy eyes, anxiety, and tremors, basically, if you have Graves' disease. But it's a relatively very common disorder. I hope it never comes my way. No, thank you! You know, as a first 17-year-old, sometimes we have to pick and choose our battles, and this is one battle I'm not winning. Anyway. Another way we can help with hyperthyroidism is using beta-adrenergic blockers. So this is actually associated with cardiovascular problems such as hypertension or angina. Angina is just a really fancy word of saying, ah, my heart, it hurts. Ah! Yeah. Hypertension is high blood pressure. So it's really interesting because beta-adrenergic blockers does not directly lower plasma levels, but it can suppress some of the symptoms that they may be having, such as tachycardia, which is a fast heartbeat. Remember, fast heartbeat is considered anything over 100. Recall that the normal heart rate is 60 to 100, so let's say someone has a heart rate of 110. Oh boy, they have tachycardia for sure. Palpitations, fever, and restlessness. And beta-adrenergic blockers are going to be super duper helpful in some severe exacerbations of toxic thyroid, basically. Let's talk about bone mineralization. I don't think I'm gonna get into like the giant paragraph that I have there. I copied and pasted it from the textbook, hoping to read it again. I don't think I'm gonna read it, but maybe I will read the first sentence, yeah. Maybe the second one too. Maybe the third. Maybe the fourth. Why not? Alright, so bone, or otherwise known as hueso in Spanish, bone serves as two primary functions: to provide a rigid framework for the body and to provide a readily available and easily interchangeable calcium pool. To serve both functions simultaneously, an appropriate balance must exist between the bone formation and the bone reabsorption. Bone reabsorption, or the breakdown, can supply calcium and other minerals for various physiological processes. Mineral release from bone, however, occurs at the expense of bone formation. The primary minerals that enable bone to maintain its rigidity and retain its rigidity are calcium and phosphate. Excessive release of these minerals from storage sites in bones will result in bone demineralization, and the skeletal system will undergo failure in reference to having a fracture. In addition, bone is continually undergoing specific changes in its own internal architecture. The process of remodeling allows bone to adapt to changes of stress and optimally resist applied loads. I think that's where I'll end there. So fun bearcat school fact for you cubs after I'll hydrate it a little bit. Thank you, Atomic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How do you call it? Guys. Bone. It's very interesting because I believe if you fracture your bone, you break your bone, the bone that heals will be stronger than what it was previously due to, I think, Wolf's Law? So for it to kind of reinforce itself, saying that, hey, remodeling of the bone allows it to adapt to changing stresses and optimally resist applied loads, I think it's just really interesting. So technically, and I would not recommend this, you will have stronger bones if you break your bones. Good thing I've never broken a bone in my body because they are just so strong, and I am one paranoid bearcat who'd never got into sports. Anyway, I will politely hydrate. One moment, one moment. BRB getting the hammer, brother. That's what they call assault. The lands, the Bearcat Mountain will not allow such thing. No, it's for you. No, no. Bearcat Mountain, the Cub Club does not allow self-harm. Please don't do it. Wow. Tippa could have been bawling. I could have been bawling, but it's okay. Sometimes I wish. So when I walk around in my park, they have like a little basketball court, and you know, I see people play, and obviously I'm an average sized bearcat at 5'4". But I don't know, I don't think I was really made for basketball, but I would like to be balling. I think it would just be really like hilarious to get like dunked on by bearcat. But these are all goals and dreams that will happen in another life. I don't have anyone immediately interesting. I don't have anyone immediately interested in basketball to like humor me with this like random, very, excuse me, random goal of mine. It's okay, it's okay. Alright, so bone mineralization. We did read the paragraph. I know it's very small, I apologize, but I read it for you, so daijou booty. So, bone mineralization. So, the satisfactory control of bone minerals is important in both acute and long-term situations. Blood calcium levels must be maintained within a certain limit. Excuse me. So let's learn about some drugs that are used to control bone mineralization, if it's so important. My body, please. Anyway. So, some drugs we can use is Fosamax, also known as what is this? Bisphosphonates. Sure. So this is inorganic compounds. The exact mechanism for this medication is actually unclear, but what does occur to their understanding is that this compound is going to appear to absorb directly into calcium crystals into the bone, and it's going to reduce bone reabsorption by inhibiting osteoclast. And osteoclast, you may recall osteoclast, osteoblast, osteo blah 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 blah. Osteo just means bone. Osteoclast in this specific example, it's going to result to the dissolving and breakdown of old bone. So hey, bone mineralization, and we're trying to reduce bone breaking down activity. Okay, so we're trying to retain bone. Got it. Fosamax can actually be used for a in my brain I want to say pagan so bad, and I know that's not it. Pagan? Sure. Disease. And this is actually a really interesting disorder. This is, I believe, the disorder where your bones bend outwards. Let's get a picture really quick so I don't sound like an absolute like weirdo. But like your bones bow out. Here, let me I'm showing you cubs a picture. It looks too silly. Hold on. No, but you won't understand. But I also don't want to show you an I will. Okay, I'll show you an IRL example, but it won't be extreme. Okay. And so no one can be grossed out. Warning: someone's legs. All right. So this is the disease that it's talking about. So you see on our right, the leg is normal, but on the left, you see how it bows out. That is the disorder with, or the issue with this disease. What happens is that the bone process, the bone breakdown process, is really like abnormal, I guess is the right word to say it. I think it's the only word to really say. But the breakdown and excessive regrowth hex up, and you end up growing your bone too quickly or something like that. Because I think this is like a disorder that you have when you like mostly you see it like in kids and whatnot, I think. I could just be saying things, I apologize, but that is to my understanding and memory in my brain. But yeah, the bone grows too quickly, and so what happens when it grows too quickly, it becomes really big and really soft, and that's why you have like this bowing out. There's really what do you call it, extreme examples, but this is probably one of the more mild IRL examples that I can use. Definitely didn't read that as drinking. Brother, the only thing I'm drinking is, well, actually I'm not drinking anymore, this energy drink. I'm saving it for tomorrow, teehee, and water. But thank you, Atomic, I will keep that in mind. Atras, hi. Might be getting into the weeds here, but Stat Pearls, free article on I'm gonna say Phosphamax because I can't say that word for whatever reason. It describes the mechanism actually pretty well. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm going for whatever's in the textbook. Not that you're pulling weeds, I actually do appreciate getting the resource out there and being like, yeah, they actually found the mechanism. Maybe my textbook is not updated by any means whatsoever. I don't know the year it was published, but I'm just gonna go with that information because... yeah. yeah. But thank you for the headpad, by the way. Again, I'm so sorry my headpads are not working. So sad. Gotta bring out the hand. Gotta pat myself. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much for the headpad. Thank you. I can't believe my other headpads went to war. I can't believe it. Please come back from the war. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And I hope studies are going well. Thank you. They are. I think I'm gonna take a little baby break in a little bit because I realized I've been talking for 2 hours straight, which is a talent all on its own. But we'll get to it. Hata, hi, thank you for the posture check. Thank you. Scribble says post-finals tip is gonna be wild. Brother, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna be so happy. Not that I'm not already happy, but I'm actually pretty stressed out. But I'm gonna be so happy. We're gonna play so many games, and I'm gonna get through all the games on my list of things to do. And any day I have off, I'm probably gonna be gaming at gamer hours for gamer amount of time. We're gonna one-shot games. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think we're gonna do that, but we'll probably be able to finish shorter games in like 2 to 3 streams, you know? So look forward to it. And we still have to finish Celeste. That's how we're gonna celebrate the end of finals, but I'll be sure to update you cubs in the Discord to be like, teehee, I finished all my finals and I passed and I'm done. I'm free. Oh my goodness. But yeah. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. But thank you for the self-care checks. I will hydrate, but everything else, I mean, I will also breathe, I guess. Let me get my water again. And I will posture check. I mean, my posture is good, but I'll stand up and stretch in just a moment. Your digital MD comes in on Friday or Monday, and you get the physical degree later? Oh my goodness. What an actual gamer. I'm so proud. I'm excited. I hope it gets to you safely and belated Hacking. Congratulations on getting it to post-final break. Anyway, sorry. I'll stop complaining. So, Phosphamax, by the way, again, like I said, prevents exaggerated bone turnover and promotes the adequate mineralization. So the disease we just showed about the bowing and the bending of the leg, we can use this medication to prevent that. This also can be used to inhibit abnormal bone oh my gosh. Inhibits abnormal bone formation. We can help maintain bone mineralization. It could prevent bone pain. This medication is doing it all. It's going to prevent fractures and cancer that metastasize the bone. It's gonna prevent and treat bone loss during prolonged administration of anti-inflammatory steroids, aka glucocorticoids, the thing we talked about earlier. And you know, Fosamax is actually emerging as one of the primary treatments for osteoporosis. So again, osteoporosis is like that, like the bone breakdown again. This can potentially, its studies in the book was saying that it could potentially reverse it to some degree, or not even reverse, but more, maybe more along the lines of like slowing it down or even stopping. So I thought that was really interesting. So what about this medication exactly should we need to know, other than all these really cool things? A really unique thing about this medication, which makes sense, I feel like you should be doing this for all your medications, but this one in particular requires you that you have to stay upright. So if you were like, oh, I forgot to take my medications, and you're laying in bed, you take your medications and you lay back down, you actually risk getting like some type of reflux and getting some irritation. So patient must remain upright after taking this medication so that the drug does not reflux into the esophagus and cause irritation or esophageal inflammation of the esophagus is basically what it's saying. So I don't know what is the time that you have to remain upright, but you just have to remain upright. Alright, what other things can we take for our bones? I'm sure you guys have heard of calcium and vitamin D. So for calcium, it's going to provide, having this is just providing an additional source of calcium in the body, and it's going to help encourage bone formation in conditions such as osteoporosis, osteomyelitis, rickets, and hypoparathyroidism. And vitamin D, what's gonna do is that's gonna help increase blood calcium and phosphate levels to enhance that bone mineralization process, especially in conditions such as osteodystrophy, rickets, and those who just lack vitamin D. Again, one of the common adverse effects is that it's not able to be eliminated appropriately. So in excessive doses, gosh help me, it's gonna accumulate in the body, and then you end up with a toxic effect. You end up having like drug toxicity, and then you go down a rabbit hole, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, I have more of this information here. All right, we'll end at diabetes, and I can take a baby break. So the parathyroid hormone, this is going to help increase some of the blood calcium levels by altering the calcium metabolism and 3 primary tissue. It's bone, it's kidney, and it's a GI tract. The amount of calcium in the bloodstream is going to control the release of the PTH. So basically it's kind of a maneuver to regulate itself. Because it impacts these 3 primary tissues, this is how it's going to impact it. It's going to impact skeletal tissue by increasing bone turnover, thus liberating calcium from skeletal storage. It's going to affect the kidney by increasing the renal reabsorption. And then for the GI, it's just going to increase absorption. So overall, increased absorption is the name of the game for the parathyroid hormone to help increase the blood calcium levels. Osteoporosis, I don't know why I have this here. High parathyroid hormone levels exchange development of action. High parathyroid hormone levels exchange development of actions of cells, osteoclasts that break down skeletal tissues. Increased osteoclast activity degrades the collagen matrix within the bone, thus releasing calcium in the bloodstream. Sure. Sorry. Sure. Calcium supplements are used to prevent calcium depletion and encourage the bone formation. And the Fosamax we talked about a little bit more, but I guess this is just another version of it that we can talk about in greater details and talk on the points that we didn't get the opportunity of talking about. And Pata, no, you're so good. You're so good. As soon as I said vitamin D, I'm like, oh boy. Yeah. Fosamax, we already learned it's really important. It's one of the drugs used for bone mineralization, but the purpose and use of it overall is to promote calcium deposits, depositions, and bone and stabilize bone by preventing excessive bone turnover and breakdown. So this kind of medication is going to be used to normalize bone turnover in people who have osteoporosis, or again the Paget's disease. This is also going to help prevent hyperglycemia, so high blood sugar, resulting from excessive bone reabsorption in certain cancers. So it's a very particular, like, oh, be careful. Alright, so the method of action. So again, as even though the current literature or neuro literature probably says the mechanism is clear, according to my textbook, it is unclear, and that again, the compounds are going to appear to absorb directly into calcium crystals in the bone, and what it's going to do is that it's going to reduce bone reabsorption by inhibiting osteoclast activity. It's going to help prevent the excessive bone turnover because it's stopping the activity that's breaking the bone down. Some adverse effects and side effects is that you can have osteonecrosis, which is very rare. What happens is that there's a local defect in bone metabolism, which is going to lead to death of the bone. This is actually really interesting and very specific. So what happens if someone is taking this type of medication, you want to actually be super duper careful if they report a pain in the jaw, because osteonecrosis, the death of the bone tissue, occurs into the jaw very often, especially with those who are taking the medications through IV or with cancer, or they're taking it concurrent with other drugs. Be careful if they say they have a pain in the jaw, because that's like one of the like huge red flags of this medication. With osteonecrosis as well, kind of hand in hand, this kind of medication actually may lead to atypical subtrochanteric hip fractures in susceptible patients. So basically, if there's unexplained bone pain, it should be reported immediately. Somehow, some way, the bone can fracture. Basically, it's like, but wasn't it supposed to prevent that? Wasn't it supposed to help the bone turnover? Blah 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 blah. Yeah, but this is one of those weird, wacky adverse side effects that we have to be careful. But again, osteonecrosis in the jaw, and this fracture of the hip, the atypical subtrochanteric one, big red flags for this medication and big highlights of like, hey, yeah, you need to go see a doctor, my dude. I'm sorry, hold on. I cannot treat this any longer, you know? And then yeah, we'll get into diabetes. I'll go take a little baby break for now because we hit our 2-hour mark. But Atra says hyperglycemia is a huge problem, especially on the oncology ward, because many solid and non-solid malignancies from PTHRP secretions or osteolysis, among other mechanisms, and of course tumor lysis syndrome. I'm sorry. I feel like any like would you consider cancer as a core? I feel like it's hecked if you already have like a syndrome, basically, or like a type of disorder such as cancer and all that jazz, and everything just kind of feels like it's against you, which really sucks. But definitely just keep in mind about the medications that they're taking, how they're feeling, etc, etc, and it should be okay, kinda. Hi Fable, hi, welcome on in, welcome. I'm sorry you just caught me during break time, but your girl had too many hydrate redeems, so I gotta go. But I'll politely BRB cups, okay? Definitely take this time to stand up and stretch, hydrate, eat something super duper yummy. I won't be gone for so long because I don't really have the luxury of time on my side right now. We have the exam in 3 hours. Ooh. But we are we're basically at the halfway point. We're at 26 pages out of 49, and we're not even going through the whole 49 pages, so I think there's only just a few more sections, and we'll probably politely wrap it up from there. I will continue to study, but I'll most likely just be off stream because again of like the other resources, may dox me, may want to avoid that, oh yeah, Postemax mechanism of atypical femur fracture seems to be due to oversuppression of bone turnover, pathophysiological alterations in the bone quality, and impairment of fracture repair processes. Yeah, oversuppression of bone turn. Oversuppression? I thought it was supposed to facilitate it. Oh no! It isn't. It's preventing it. I'm so sorry. I'm going away. I'm going away. But it only occurs if they had like 7 years of this treatment. Kind of a long time, my dude. Oh well, I hope they're okay, and I hope no one ever breaks their hips. Break time literally reads the definition of this, what do you call this medication twice. 3 times, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's supposed to facilitate bone turnover. I'm about to end it all. Anyway, cubs, I will be right back, okay? One moment. Sorry about that. Atris, thank you so much for stopping by. Please have a good one. Love life, and how else do the cool kids say? Enjoy the boba. But yeah, Rico, I am back. Let us get to it. I got to see baby Peas, and I wanted to kiss her head so bad, but she was eating. And I felt so rude. I wouldn't want my head kissed if I was eating. I'm too focused on eating. So that's where I am right now mentally. Anyway, I hope you guys had a super duper good break. Let's actually get you the study guide. Ta-dang! I count down 3 hours till the exam. I don't necessarily have an exam immediately after this for anyone asking questions. Stairs. Hold on. Let me resolve this because I was just like anyway. But yeah, let's get to it. Diabetes! Yay! I feel like diabetes is a relatively common disorder that you hear about, but pretty much what's gonna happen with diabetes is that it's the insufficient insulin secretion or a decrease in the peripheral effects of the insulin. Really, the primary defect is in the metabolism of carbohydrates and other energy substrates. Sure. So for diabetes, you have a type 1 and you have a type 2. So type 1, this is something that normally people identify in childhood, and this is going to be the absolute insufficiency of insulin, while type 2 is the combination. So I feel like I'm using all these like, ooh, but we have like a little chart down here that will break it down. But type 2 is going to be the combination of beta cells dysfunction and decreased sensitivity to peripheral tissues to circulate the insulin. So blah, insulin resistance. Alright, so let's actually compare them really quick, okay? Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit though. Alright, so age of onset. So type 1 diabetes, again, it's usually before you're 20. I feel like many people find it when they're like in childhood. Type 2 is usually after 30. The type of onset is usually abrupt, often severe, while type 2 is like gradual, usually subtle. The body weight for type 1 is usually normal, while type 2 is overweight. Type 1, the blood insulin is markedly sure reduced. So on type 2, the blood insulin, it tends to be normal or even increased. Peripheral response to insulin is normal, but for type 2 it's actually a decreased response to insulin. So how do we kind of manage both of them? So if you have type 1 diabetes, it's usually just, you know, through the application of getting insulin in you and having a proper diet, while type 2 is a proper diet, insulin, or oral anti-diabetics if diet control alone is ineffective. Insulin. Sorry, they didn't really want us to know that much details, but really what they actually really wanted us to know is these other wacky things. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I feel like that was like so superficial. It's like, yeah, I didn't get anything from that tip, but I'm like, say no more. Anyway, so rehabilitation specialist. So why is it important to know if someone has diabetes? Well, a lot of the time it comes with other comorbidities, but diabetes specifically can have some weird complications. I don't think I ever had like a study stream about like wound management and whatnot, but sometimes what happens is like they don't have sensation in the bottom of their feet. Some diabetic patients, and this could be really troublesome because if you have no sensation on your feet, and we don't really look at the bottom of our feet so often, what if you have a giant gashing wound? What if something's stuck there? What if you stepped in a nail, a needle, and it's there and you don't even know? Not to make you like kind of like cringe or crumble up, because even I'm like, ooh, but that's what happens with some of these people. They step in something, you don't look at the bottom of your feet, you don't have the sensation, you don't have your body telling you, hey, I don't feel it, you know, and like what do? You know, it gets infected, it gets really bad. So bad. So that's something to watch out for. So when you have diabetic patients, you want to conduct foot checks with them and you do want to educate them on just checking the bottom of their foot from time to time, especially if they don't have sensation there. Also, you can have a diabetic foot ulcer. Again, the infections by, again, the things being there and you not knowing or they not knowing, and it's been there for a while. So it's really important to educate on proper skincare and foot care, because sometimes, hey, guess what? It's already too late. So diabetic footwear is really interesting, because let me see if I can pull up a picture of diabetic footwear. It felt like there was a really particular one that we had saw in class. Right now I'm just finding like not the ones I want to find. They're all very stylish though. I can appreciate it, but let's see. I guess I just made them more fashionable. I'm not finding anything that would be like, ooh, but just know it has more cushioning, more protection, more blah 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 blah, basically. Alright, let me close out of that. Alright, so I have to know the effects of exercise on glucose and insulin. So, congratulations! When you exercise, you move and groove around with your body, exercise actually produces an insulin-like effect. So what that means is that it's going to accelerate the movement of glucose out of the bloodstream and into the peripheral tissues, such as your skeletal muscles, where it's needed. So if you're running, hey, that's being sent to your legs. Oh, you're lifting, oh, it's going to your arms. You know, things like that. The glucose is going to be sent out, so you get that. The issue is just if you're already using insulin and you're also exercising, you kind of have like this double negative effect, which doesn't necessarily turn into a positive. The combined effects of exercise and insulin is going to have this exaggerated decrease in blood glucose, and you end up with hypoglycemia. And so to avoid this, it's really important to kind of change the insulin dose, because yeah, I'm so happy you're exercising and you should keep taking your medication of insulin. How do we avoid hypoglycemia? So for the dosage, it's should be adjusted depending on like the type of exercise that you're doing, the intensity, because if you're just walking around your park, I mean, yeah, good job walking, but in comparison to someone who's like jogging or running the whole thing or doing 7 miles or something like extreme like that, you know, we have to again balance it out. And also the duration of the activity matters, because okay, you could be working hard for like a minute, that was your workout, okay, maybe you don't need to adjust it that much, but maybe you should also take it easy. So very silly things like that. In addition to trying to kind of play this balancing game with the insulin dosage, you should be take careful measures of the blood glucose before and after, because that's also gonna be your more objective way of measuring how much insulin should be adjusted. Do note that if your patient has hyperglycemia, they could present with symptoms such as headaches, fatigue, hunger, tachycardia, so again that increased heart rate, sweating, anxiety, and confusion, and that symptoms will worsen as your blood glucose decreases. If you end up having hypoglycemia for too long or have a severe, like it's way too low, you end up with loss of consciousness, convulsions, and death. So please really be careful if your sugar goes too low, especially if you're in the situation, a diabetic patient who's trying to exercise, you know? Alright, so what are all these things to treat diabetes? Glad you asked, because we have multiple. We have 4 different types of ways of how we could treat type 1 and type 2. We'll go over the mechanism of action, and also know about the adverse side effects. So let's start with insulin. Insulin, very popular, all I felt like I've been saying. And type 1, the insulin is just used to replace the hormone, while in type 2, I'm just gonna read it, I'm so sorry. It's a exogenous replacement that may assist in making up the endogenous production and the requirement. So it's an assistant of the production. Well, type 1 maybe just replaces it as a whole. I'm so sorry, I don't know much about diabetes. That's why I feel embarrassed. Hold on, I have to like double check. Oh no, I can't double check. No! No! Hold on, Cups. I wanted to double check something, but I have to double check something. Oh, okay. So Zuzu, when we ran it into them yesterday, right? Yeah, because it was their birthday. Happy belated birthday to Zuzu. Let me also give them a shout out. They're very sweet. I just like felt like shy because Zuzu, I'm pretty sure, is like a nurse. Oh, wait, is it all one word? There you go. Okay, I got spooked. I'm like, huh? Anyway, please follow them if you haven't already. It celebrated their birthday and had a pretty yummy looking cake. But yeah, they were talking about lactose intolerant, and I'm just like, oh, I have a big idea. But then Zeus is like, yeah, you should have learned that from Tip of Stream, and I'm like, oh. Not that kind of studying, I'm sorry. Give me a muscle, I'll do better, kind of. Anyway, I'm not really on the medical side of things. Anyway, so yeah, insulin, yay! So it has different effects in type 1 and type 2, and the adverse side effects. Hypoglycemia, so we just talked about that earlier, about, you know, there might be a dramatic fall in the blood glucose levels, and we saw that the symptoms can be as, you know, minor as, oh, you have a headache, to, yeah, you're dying. So you have to be super duper careful with your blood glucose level. And again, this may happen especially if the insulin therapy that you're providing is just not a high enough dosage and counteracting maybe the patient's like active lifestyle. The next one is sulfonylureas. Sure. And this is going to stimulate beta cells to release insulin. So we're going to have the same side effect of hypoglycemia, which again is the most common, but also the most potential serious effect. You're going to have GI disturbances, and you may have a headache. So please be careful, I guess. Better late than never, I guess. Teehee, I guess. So another treatment that we can use is Negletin, and that's going to directly increase the release of insulin from the pancreas. Again, biggest worry anytime we're trying to treat these type 1, type 2 is hypoglycemia. You can also end up with bronchitis, upper respiratory tract infections, joint and back pain, GI disturbances such as nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and headaches. And insulin sensitizer is going to be the last way of how we're going to treat diabetes type 1 and type 2. And we have two different kind of sensitizers. We have metformin, which is a very common medication I feel that you would hear a lot of patients have. And we also have thiazolone, also known as glitazones. Oh. Anyway, metformin. So metformin, as an insulin sensitizer, it's going to act on the liver to inhibit the glucose production. So with that, it's also going to help increase the sensitivity to insulin for peripheral tissues. So basically, hey, we're managing your blood glucose by just basically stopping at its source, and then any kind of insulin we're getting, we'll take what we can get, baby. And that's basically the idea of metformin. For the side effects, however, you have your GI disturbances, but what you may have is lactic acidosis. I feel like this is kind of a weird one, but I feel like it's becoming more prominent, more in the like mainstream media. Like maybe I feel like a good chunk of you cubs may have heard of this. Like you have you heard of like the people who go hungry for too long and their breath stinks or something, or when people go on like a keto diet and like the breath stinks. I don't mean to keep repeating that, but the breath stinking, it comes from the lactic acidosis, and maybe I should Google to like talk about it a little bit better. Hold on. It's a type of metabolic acidosis that occurs when lactic acid builds up in your blood. Your body produces more lactate when your tissues are provided with oxygen. Lactate can also build up in your livers and kidneys that aren't able to metabolize it efficiently. Gosh darn it. But yeah, if you have lactic acidosis, you normally feel a little bit nauseous, vomiting, and just like general weakness. So it's really interesting. But apparently, as you see, it's a rare but severe fatal side effect of using metformin. So just be careful of those side effects if you somehow do get to using this medication. The last one for insulin sensitizers are gonna be thiazolidinones. This is gonna decrease hepatic glucose production. So basically, almost the same thing, right? Except it's this hepatic kid. Hold on, I'm sucking up. Hold on, I'm sorry. Liver. Yeah. So yeah, like the same thing as metformin, liver. Decreases the hepatic glucose production. Hepatic, again, referring to the liver, and it's going to increase the sensitivity. So they both do the same things, but metformin's going to inhibit it, or more like stop it or block it, while the latter, the secondary medication, is just going to decrease it. With that decrease, they're going to have side effects such as headache, dizziness, fatigue / weakness, back pain, and possibly severe hepatic toxicity, which is very rare. Again, you don't want toxicity anywhere near your body. But I guess that's just the accumulation. Alright, let me see what else we have. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, Cubs. Stay with me just a little bit longer, okay? We're gonna talk about 3 more things, and then we'll politely wrap it up from here, okay? Okay! I feel like it's a relatively shorter study stream, but again, I just have to skim through some information, and it's by the time I finish, it's probably gonna be about 5 o'clock, so I can have at least those 2 hours as like a little self-quiet study, so wish me luck. Anyway, so antibiotics. Yay! Antibiotics is pretty interesting. So antibiotics in general, there's 3 different ways antibiotics can work. It can inhibit the bacterial cell wall synthesis and function, and that could be medications such as penicillin, etc. And what happens is that the adverse side effect for this antibiotic, specifically if it has this mechanism of action, is that you're going to end up with blood disorders. You're going to end up with CNS problems, maybe confusion or hallucination, and you're going to have GI problems. Your nausea, your vomiting, your diarrhea, and you may also have a hypersensitivity reaction. For those that don't just affect the wall, but just the protein synthesis of the bacteria as a whole, such as aminoglycosides, sure, you're also going to have a hypersensitivity reaction, GI problems, nephron toxicity. I want to say that's your kidneys. Please give this to me. I don't know how I confuse hepatic and nephrons, but please. Yes, nephron toxicity is a rapid deterioration in the kidney function due to the toxic effect of chemicals and medications. Yes, I'm like, I don't know why I'm getting nervous about body organs now. Anyway. But also, for whatever reason, you also get discoloration of teeth, bones, and skin. This is the most interesting one, though. So, antibiotics that inhibit bacterial DNA and RNA, aka basically just decreases the replication of the bacteria, especially this medication in particular, fluoroquinolones. This medication and this kind of group of antibiotics also is going to have the same disorder of the nephron toxicity, your GI problems, but you're also going to end up with tendon pain and inflammation. And this pain and inflammation can get so bad somehow, some way, that it ends up to a tendon rupture. And this is most common your Achilles, so like the back of your leg, the foot, behind the ankle, etc., however you want to refer to as the Achilles. So this is why it's really, really, really important to kind of keep a very close eye on patients who are taking fluoroquinolones. This particular medication, because of this tendon pain and inflammation, in addition to adverse side effects, this particular one that decreases replication, you end up with light sensitivity, so yay. But yeah, out of all these antibiotics, I feel like most of you have heard of penicillin in some way, in some regard, and as you see, doesn't look too bad. Adverse side effect, I mean, minus the blood disorder, but just get more blood. No, but anyway, they wanted us to know a very particular medication called neomycin, and this is just an antibiotic specifically used to treat the where am I coming with these words? External auditory canal. So basically your ear hole. That is your external auditory canal, so it helps treat with ear infections, and it's gonna inhibit the bacterial protein synthesis. There might be more to it, but that's all I have found in the textbook, so huh. Alright, let's talk about PCA slash PCA pumps. PCA. Oh, the name is escaping me. My brain wants to be like protein. No, patient-controlled analgesic. Yes. So this is a really interesting machine. Let me show you, cubs. Basically, it's kind of like, hey, press this red button if you don't want pain. Do it. And it's like, what? But it's a type of how do I say it? Application. It's a type of applications that patients can use to decrease their pain level, and we'll talk about it more in a little bit, but it looks like this. There's different ways to talk about it, but yeah, that's a PCA pump. You press the button. Pain gone. Obviously it's kind of like, oh, this is patient controlled, but hey, that patient probably doesn't have any, and I mean any, idea about, like, you know, how not to overdose, and what if they go too far? Blah, 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 blah. Well, brother, do I got news for you. So people on this medication or this application of medication, there are things to lock it out so they don't overdose, and it can kind of play a little bit of a placebo effect. So to my understanding, if they hit the let's see, if they hit a certain amount of dosage in their medication, they're no longer going to get out the medication. They hit out their lockout interval, basically. And so they can press the button and nothing will happen. But again, placebo takes a good play at it. And it's like, yes, it is working. It's like, oh yeah, it's working because I pressed the button. Yeah. But once all the medication, you got your proper dosage, I mean, you should be okay. But some people would like to use and abuse it. But yeah, that's what it looks like. That's a PCA pump. It's actually, we'll talk about it more in a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, so it's an infusion device that can administer an analgesic medication in a safe and accurate manner. And so there's two ways that we can have this pump. We can either have it external or internal. So you can have it like we saw in the picture, the external, where it's driven by a syringe or any kind of like needle, or internal. You can actually implant it into your body, which is crazy. I don't have all the different components here, unfortunately. I know I was going through a Quizlet that had them all, so I'm really sad. So just believe me when I said whatever I said, okay? Okay. But yeah, administration routes can be through IV, could be epidural, can be regional, so it could be a self-administered specific anatomical site that's most likely near peripheral nerve or into the wound, or you can use it transdermally. You can use this process called iontophoresis, yes, through the skin into systematic circulation. So iontophoresis is actually really interesting. I can use it. I'm certified. No, you don't need a certification, but I was trained how to use it, unfortunately only in my other program, not this current program, but it's because they only have limited resources. But the medication is applied through electrical stimulation. Really interesting. I think if I could show you guys a picture, that would be pretty cool. But it's just like, yep, we're zapping the medication through your body, and it's like, what? Huh? Maybe it doesn't look as cool as I remember, to be honest. But just think of electric pads. But I want to get a cool picture, but I'm finding pictures that don't look as cool as I saw in class. Wah. We'll use a basic baby version of it. Wah, wah. It looks a little bit older too. But basically, I think more of the components of it's probably a little bit more interesting than the actual application. But you use a TENS machine, pretty much, and you have electricity. You have to be careful about your positive and negatives, because there's different medications that have more of an affinity depending on the charge that it has, and each charge has its own little thing, and you put the medication pad and you put it underneath the electric pad, or it could be like soaked within it, and it just goes into the systematic circulation through the use of electric stimulation. And I thought it was so cool. It's not very common though, which is why it's probably not heavily emphasized, but like, I don't know, I think it was really cool and neat to have done it. It's complicated to get the parameters right, but I mean, if you're not memorizing it on the spot with a water gun to your head, I think you should be good, you know? Thank you for the hydrate though. Thank you, and thank you for the posture check. Thank you! Thank you. Let me... I'm almost out of water. No! My water goal for the day is almost met. No! Anyway. But yeah, thank you for humoring me. So yeah, a PCA pump, yeah, it can be inserted in multiple ways, basically. The pros and cons to this, as you would imagine, is that, hey, the pros, if your patient says they're in pain, do something about it. And they can. So it allows the patients to better control their pain. As the pain fluctuates, patients can self-deliver more or less medications to them. So, again, it's all button presses. They don't mess with the dosages, excuse me, or anything like that. So if they're like, oh, I did one button push 6 hours ago, I'm feeling fine, I am good, do not worry, then, you know, great, you're using less medication. While some people might be pressing it like every hour, but again, they eventually do get locked out. I'm ready to take the question. I hope I have an answer. But yeah, in general, also, by the way, pros is an improved patient satisfaction, because they feel like they have like a better how do you call it, control over their care, basically. So they're like, I'm happy because I'm getting what I need. Yay. Does it stop just total dose or dose over time? Oh, to my understanding, I think it's total dose. But it may what do you call it, stop. But I don't know how technical the machines get, because obviously you have to account for like the half-life of the drugs and medications and blah 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 blah. But that may be why the lockout interval gets into play. Because they won't ever, like, how do you call it? Like, they won't be able to go through the whole entire dose in like an hour, you know what I mean? But I hope that makes sense. It probably didn't even answer the question, but I truly do believe it depends on the medication. But they're not going to run through the medication as a whole. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if a patient wanted to, they could self-administer a day's worth in 5 minutes. Yeah, if they wanted to, but it's not recommended at all whatsoever. Again, that's why you're going to have that lockout. So they can press it and they get their one dose, and then they can keep pressing it all they want. But it depends on what the medication allows, you know? Because again, maybe the medication gets out of your system after the 4 to 6 hours, and that's like, okay, it's allowed to be pressed again. But the medication, when you should take it, should last that time, so they shouldn't be pressing it multiple times either. But yeah, I hope the rambling helped. Sorry, but yeah, Overdose Town, no bueno. Anyway. So yeah, as a concept, you would imagine, there could be operator, patient, or mechanical errors that occur with it. Not saying they're gonna overdose, but like, you know, people could try to abuse it. No problem, thank you for asking, I appreciate it. I wish they went more in depth with it, but I think it's also a really cool machine. I just think the technology that we have available to treat people are all really like, whoa! But yeah, as you imagine, having medication, because normally this is what? Opioids? that they're injecting into themselves. You end up with sedation, itching because you know the injection site specifically, GI issues, your nausea, vomiting, and maybe you gain some tolerance and dependence because it's an opioid. But there's some ways around it. I think if you do less opioid and do more NSAID and have like some weird combination, I think I remember reading, then you wouldn't have as much issues with the tolerance and dependence. But here are the various issues that you can have. So like operator's error, maybe you misprogram it and then your patient overdoses. Patient error, they don't understand the therapy, they don't understand the device, and they abuse the pain medication. Or you could just have mechanical problems. Maybe the pump isn't really working the way that you want it to, so it doesn't deliver on demand. Maybe the drugs are cracked, cracked, drugged, or syringe. Faulty alarm system, malfunction, etc. There's different things. Not everything is perfect, unfortunately, but I would still recommend it, you know? Depending on the person's situation. Alright, oh yeah, here it is! So, as mentioned, the PCP pumps do have opioids. As you know, opioids are super duper addictive. In the US, there was an opioid crisis within the past 50 years and all that jazz. So I'm kind of like, oh. So that's why actually it's really interesting to hear people, especially older people, who are like, yeah, you know, I'm in so much pain, 8 out of 10. I don't really want to take pain medication. I don't want to get stuck on that because of like the impact that they had during that. Well, maybe obviously it's your own personal beliefs, but I like to believe and make up theories, I guess, about like, oh, it might have been because of the opioid crisis and they're like scared of getting addicted to that stuff, you know? There's still a crisis, it's not gone away. This is also true, especially I guess with current world events and everything like that. I did hear there was a spike in that and pain management clinics are popping off. But it's scary. I don't think I do want to be on an opioid unless I'm like dying. Huh? Even programming errors, I know it's from some time ago, but the Dirac 25 issues are famous? Oh, I'll have to Google that because I haven't heard of that before. I'm like, oh, what? Ooh. Sometimes machines are very scary. The only technical malfunction, oh, Cubs. Wait, it's a big whoopsie. All right, I have to look at this now. As I tell you, cause my story about my mechanical failure. So when I used to work as a tech, how many people died? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I looked. I saw it. Yeah, I see the radiation. Holy. Oh my god. Anyway, okay. Anyway, yeah. So are you guys familiar with a traction machine? So traction is you can have it for the cervical or the neck or the lumbar or your back, and it's basically a machine that they strap you in and you pull. Okay. When I was working as a tech, they trained me to do this, and technically, to be completely honest, I don't think I was supposed to do that, but they trained me to do it. Because they're like, okay, you just have to put this person in this machine, make sure they're strapped, make sure the table's unlocked, and basically have this machine pull at their body, basically. Okay, sure, why not? One day, there's a malfunction of the traction machine, and I'm like, hey, and there was a much older machine too. I'm like, hey, the machine stopped, but it's not letting me recoil the rope. Let me, like, you know, so I could get the patient out, because it's, again, has so much tension pulling the patient, and because there's so much tension, it's not like loosening it up. I can't unlock the patient or get them out of the bed, and they're there for their back to do traction. And so my therapist was busy, and I was like, oh well, there's another tech who's been working here for much longer than I am, maybe she knows what to do. She did. But what ended up happening is that the traction machine ended up recoiling on the lady, and so she had this huge jolt of pain because I don't know how to explain it, but basically like a rubber band effect happened to that poor lady, where once we got her out of the machine, the pressure from that and that, she bounced back and she has back pain and her back really hurt and she was in so much pain and I felt so bad, and we're like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And then I'm like, okay, now I really have to grab the therapist this time. And that's so scary because, you know, the lady ended up suing. And the thing is, I'm a tech who is not supposed to do that because we're not actually trained. We're not actually supposed to be trained doing that. But they put it as a machine malfunction, which that's what it was. I've done traction a billion times before, and don't get me wrong, it was really scary doing it again in class recently, like a semester or two ago, because of that experience. But the machines were definitely newer, and I'm like, I think I trust them. But yeah, the lady ended up suing, but the hospital got away with it because they're like, oh, it was a thing malfunction. But the scariest thing about my career and profession as a whole is the idea of malpractice. And the idea of like, hey, LMAO, yeah, because you assigned this thing that you were supposed to do, that you're trained for as a therapist, and you gave it to your tech, you could potentially lose your license. So everything that you did for your education, yeah, sorry bud, it's revoked. You can no longer practice as a therapist. Like, it was getting to that level of bad. Thankfully I left shortly after. Not because of that issue. That issue got resolved while I was there, but I was working full-time, and I'm like, hey guys, I have to go part-time because I want to retake classes so I look good for grad school. Bye! Runs. But that was like one of my scariest experiences, and that's why I understand mechanical errors, but they're not fun to get into it, you know? Hi Virgos, hi, welcome on in, welcome. And hi Cheese, hi, welcome in as well. Thank you for the good luck on the exam. Thank you, bye bye Virgos. Thank you. I will take all the luck. Luck. Yeah, they could have gotten in so much trouble, but thankfully it was able to get resolved. I never saw the lady again, and I don't blame her. And I felt so bad because we all had like a good relationship. I talked to her a lot, and she got along with her therapist very well. But she was also towards the end of her sessions anyway, so it kind of worked out. But it's just something that haunts me, you know. And don't get me wrong, the recoil and the snapback, bad. But I thankfully don't think it had lasting effects, but it definitely didn't help her with her current situation. Anyway, yay, traction. Opioid sparing effect. Whoa, that's so cool, Tipa. Okay, so the PCA pumps, the patient control analgesic pumps, the press this button to get your pain medication to feel better. No. What happened is that because there's opioids and we want to kind of reduce the tolerance and dependence of it, you want to combine non-opioid pain medication with opioids to decrease the amount of opioids needed. And this is again referred to as the opioid sparing effect. That's basically it. that's basically it. You can combine it with morphine or other opioids with this ketorolac or ketamine or goodness gracious, any one of these is, and again, it would reduce the use or the effect of the opioid. It would still do the overall effect of pain relief, but again, opioids are highly addictive. So womp womp. Oh, I'm done. Yay! Oh, I didn't realize we were basically done. Let me see. I had this red line because my classmates put notes and it has like my school stuff, so I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Cubs, I have to stop right there. But yeah, I feel okay about the exam. Again, not for anything. This is a complete like show off thing, so I apologize. For the past 2 exams, I scored an 85, like on both exams. So I'm like, I'll keep up that consistency. Or hey, even if I score really low, like let's see, hold on, and we're not jinxing it, but let's do the math here really quick. 85 plus 85 plus, let's say I get like a 50, I would still be passing even if I get a 50 on the exam. So I am not worried. Hi Sina, hi, welcome on in, welcome. How's your day going? Oh, you know, the usual, studying. Welcome on in, welcome. I hope you're doing super duper well. But yeah, big dang moment, honestly. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's why I'm not worried. Tomorrow, you're gonna see me here all day. If I gosh darn it, if you see me at 10 or 11 a.m., just understand that I am panicked, I am worried, I am sweaty. Oh, please. Please forgive me. But hopefully everything will be a-okay. But yeah, with that comes we're gonna politely wrap it up. We're gonna find someone to raid because I'm gonna do a little bit of my little silent streaming, because as much as I would love to do the Quizlets with you cubs right now, I think there's just they just recently dropped it today, like all the resources, so I'm like, oh gosh darn it. I feel like if I stream it I would have to read it, which, you know, obviously would help, you know. It's like, oh yeah, of course you should read it and it'll maintain and blah 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 blah. It would take too long. Some of the cards are like, I don't know, 100 or something like that, you know? And I don't know, I'm just gonna speedrun them. If I see it once, I'll be okay. We believe, thank you! But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you everyone for joining me today. I will keep you updated because I will be here tomorrow. But I'll keep you updated on the results for tomorrow. I should be getting the results unless she holds it back, because sometimes that's what she does because of the item analysis. So if someone did really, or like if the class did really bad on a question, she'll take it out. But yeah, I'm debating on who to raid right now. There are a few new faces. There's someone who I was really curious of raiding. And they're doing art, but they're doing like booby art. And I was like, do I just draw you guys in from like a study stream to a booby artist? I forgot they recently did something very innovative too, and I was like, oh, I can appreciate that. Also, wait, hold on. Starbucker is doing their 1-year anniversary and they're playing Lethal Company. We had our veggies so we can have our desserts. This is true. Ray true. Alright, cuz I got a secret. We got secrets here. Hold on. Raid? We got Booba Artists. We got Lethal Company 1-year anniversary. And we have Dogpile. Don't worry about what Dogpile means. Someone will understand it if it happens. But thank you, Rika. Thank you so much for the good luck. I really need it, and I'll need it especially for tomorrow. So, if you can wish me good luck tomorrow too, really appreciate it. I'm in Ontario. I guess it's not that different. Yeah, I mean it's a little bit different. It's not like booba. It's like flat. So. But it's still booba, so I'm just like, oh, just in case. Huh? Well, I guess you had vegetables, but you know. No, I understand. You can do it. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I will do my absolute best, cubs. But yeah, with that, we do have a poll on people to raid. Yeah. With that in mind, let me go ahead and go through my spiel, okay? So, while we find someone to raid, feel free to join the Discord. If you're not already in the Discord, what the heck? Well, you might be like new, so I understand actually, so don't even worry about it. But feel free to join. I ping when I go live tomorrow, which is Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. EST. We tend to do anime night, and we're watching the newest episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen for the Elf anime, and we're slowly but surely gonna catch up on Spy Family one day. As soon as those years are over, I'm debating about which one to watch, but there are actually some spring animes that I do want to watch, and I think Demon Slayer comes out in the spring too. Sorry, not to sound like a mainstream weeb, but I'm very excited for them. There's this anime, it's like a shoujo about a deaf girl, I think? Yeah, a deaf girl, and then this guy who knows a bunch of languages, and I think that's a really interesting premise. I don't know if I'll watch that as a cub club or watch it on my own, but I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, and it comes out in the spring too? Let's go! So very excited to see. But yeah, with that in mind, Yeah, that's the Discord. We also do gamer nights. You may catch me frequently there for Fortnite. Unfortunately, this week I don't think it's a Fortnite week. I also may have used a glitch to get to level 100 already. But I would still like to play Fortnite still, even if I have Peter Griffin. You won't catch me playing Fortnite this week because I'm really stressed out about finals, so apologies. But hopefully we'll be gaming sometime soon. Again, next Friday. After stream, after Celeste, hopefully, if Celeste Bowser doesn't take so long. I do want to do a beer chat like community cup club night thing. So please look forward to more details. The only reason why I haven't put more details is because I have not unpacked my VR headset since the move. And I'm stressed out about school. So it might be a day out, so point left, point right emoji. Please forgive me. I also want to coordinate with other people to make sure that they're also free. But could also maybe be a Sunday thing, maybe. I'll have to see. I know Faust wanted to join, but Faust is only free on Sundays, so it's kind of like heck. But VCAT I think is only for that weekend, and I think it ends before. I don't know. We'll have to double check. There's a lot of information to double check, but I don't have time right now, so I'm like, Alright, with that though, speaking of timing and whatnot, please feel free to check out my Twitter. I actually pin my schedule when I go live. Yeah. And with that, I do stream tomorrow early, 10 or even 11 a.m. EST. I'm going to be here doing the same thing, but we're going to be talking about neuromuscular. So we're going to be talking about your diseases like Parkinson's, stroke, multiple sclerosis, and traumatic brain injury and how that can impact and affect. We'll go through the 500 card Quizlet together, maybe. Maybe. And really just go from there. I'm again so nervous tomorrow, but hopefully once tomorrow's over, it's smooth sailing. Have I looked at any of my final concept for Thursday? No, I have not. And I'm not worried about it, but I am gonna be worried after Tuesday, after the neuromuscular exam. So we will be returning on Wednesday for a study stream after work, which might be a little bit late because my job keeps letting me out really late or much later than the anticipated time, so I quiet every single day. Thursday I work really late, and then I have my final that day, and Thursday's my last final, so I won't be able to catch you. Wednesday will be my last day, or at least, you know, pre-final. But post-finals, yeah, is the Friday, and we'll celebrate with Celeste and maybe a VR chat, so please look forward to that, you know. You gamers are so stinky. What's with the three-way pole tie? Alright, Cubs, yeah, I'm giving you one more chance, okay? Raid art 1 year anniversary dogpiling. But yeah, there's more death animes than Ranking the Kings. I know, that's crazy. But I think the premise is very cute. I just, again, I don't know if I'm gonna actually watch it. But I'm a sucker for like silly cute things, you know? But thank you for taking an exam. Oh, wait, you're taking an exam? Good luck? Good luck, gamer? Good luck with the exam? Question mark? If you mean me, thank you. I will do my best taking an exam. You're literally going through my muscular pathology. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, gamer. It's okay, gamer. I believe in your abilities to get it through. I believe! No, but definitely make sure to take a little baby break. Stretch. Hydrate. Rest up whenever you can. Good job finishing your first exam, by the way. Huh? I mean, you have to leave for work? Oh no! Okay, then you get to see the art and the artiste. You will appreciate them. Again, they did something that I was like, wow! Oh, they gave away free hands, which sounds silly. Oh, sorry. They gave away free live VTubing hands so people who wanted to do the hand tracking and whatnot. She's like, yeah, I'm just gonna give them away for free. I made these, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, that's really sweet of her. Oh, she does art? Oh, I'll follow, you know? So I thought that was very nice, so yeah. Hey, you just finished all the questions in my exam, but there's still an hour left on the timer, so I'm going back on everything. Gamer, go. Go have fun, read those questions. Don't change your answer unless you have like 100% proof and legitimacy that you should change it, you know? Don't try to second doubt yourself, because that was my mistake in one of my other courses. I was like, I'm never gonna doubt myself again. Why do they have a surplus of hands? Well, actually, they're kind of like a starfish, because I think they said like, hey, I'm cutting off my own hands to give to you. I think that's literally how the video is. Here, take my hand so you could do live 2D hand tracking. Yay! But yeah. Alright, gamers, it's time. On socials, by the way, I'm so sorry. If you like my content, thank you so much. I have a YouTube, I have the TikToks, and everything else that I mentioned. Ta-da! It's in there. I gotcha. Oh gosh, I just typed the same thing twice. But yeah, let's go ahead and raid. We're gonna be raiding PP Slayer. PP Slayer again is the one who's joined the Booba art. Again, they're a treat. Please enjoy them. I will give them a shout out right here, so in case anyone does get left behind. But if you are what do you call it, not subscribed, absolutely no hacking words, feel free to use the gal raid with the bear emoji. And if you are subscribed, thank you so very much for your support. Feel free to use the Tipanya with the gal raid. Okay. I'm glad you guys love the name. I think they're very interesting, and I like their art, and I think their model's cute. And you know my criteria: cute model, cute voice, questionable emotes. But it's fine. It's okay. I don't know what else I'm expecting with PP Slayer, but it's fine. They give up their hands, and I thought that was very sweet of them. So we love a kind-natured VTuber. But thank you, Recaps. I will update you tomorrow with the exams for pharmacology, but please enjoy the rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening. Lots of love to you. Thank you again so much for supporting me during finals week. It'll be over soon. I pinky bear promise. I pinky bear promise. Friday we'll celebrate, okay? Well, Wednesday actually we'll celebrate, because I really am not worried about Thursday, and if the outcome for Tuesday comes out well, then you know. But yeah, I'll cross my fingers and toes too. But thank you for the good luck. Lots of love to you, Cup, okay? Bye! Bye. Nice.